afternoon show.
Thursday. It feels like night.
I don't know
right
what
now.
time it is anymore because I'm working so much. My name is Brian. That is Shane. It's Thursday. And boy, today we get to show some receipts. It's going to be a good day.
That's true. Yeah.
It's going to be a good day. Woo! As you all know, Picard season 3, episode 1 came out, and a lot of people are watching it, and a lot of people are finally hopping on board the hashtag Terry Trek train, and it is a hell of a thing to watch, isn't it, Shane?
It is. It's been a long minute. I know a lot of you here with us, and by the way, thank you guys for being here today. Just special shout out to some people in the chat here. Jeremy Schneider, as always, Archmage Frey, Kenneth LaRoque, Orville Nation. PJ, we got to find out how come you got banned off Twitter. That was really weird. People are out there fighting for you, though. Just heads up. Diana Chavez, Anthony Mark, Josh Temple, the ultimate alien, Goran Faith, and so many more folks here. John, Chuck A, good to see you guys. So listen, we've been doing this for a minute. I feel like we've been talking about Picard for months because we have. And we went out on a limb. We saw it. We loved it. And so we said, well, this is a moment where we need to let everybody else know that we love it, because this is an opportunity. And, our agenda is, this is the way we look at things. Our agenda is, we want more good Star Trek in the future. Call us selfish if you want. We want good Star Trek because we grew up with good Star Trek, and we just would like to enjoy it till we die, pretty much. But we understand there's a lot of people who, like us, did not enjoy new Star Trek after it came out with Discovery and Picard seasons 1 and 2 and some other stuff. And you didn't like it, and we didn't like it. And for some of those people, they just said, I didn't like it so much that I'm done with Star Trek. And, we get it. Like, I totally understand that point of view. And there's some people out there who are saying, well, I just can't forgive what's happened. And it's just not our viewpoint. We're just a little bit more optimistic. We don't forgive them for what happened. Definitely. Like, Kurtzman era Star Trek happened. We can't be washed away. It happened. It sucks. But we can hope for the future for more. So when we first started bringing you information about Star Trek Picard, saying, hey guys, get ready. Star Trek Picard season 3 is actually going to be good. We took a lot of heat. A lot of heat from people saying, you guys are crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you even support it anyways? And now we're seeing that it is actually happening. So not just us, but so many other people have done it. Brian, I got to step out for a second. Go ahead.
Sure. A lot of people are now supporting it. And the great thing about this is not that we get to show receipts or, we were right. Yeah. I mean, that's fun. But really, I feel like we get to finally enjoy Star Trek together. For so many of us, we couldn't enjoy Star Trek because, let's face it, it was pretty booty for a long time. It was not good. It was, I enjoyed the 2009, J.J. Abrams movies, but it was set in another universe or whatever, right? It wasn't the Star Trek I grew up with. I guess you can call them Marvel shorts or Elseworlds or something like that. They didn't matter. So when Star Trek did come back with Discovery, I was all over it until I watched it. And just the questions just kept coming. Why do the Klingons look like that? What is Michael Burnham's deal? She's literally committing treason. Wait a minute. Just question after question constantly came. It never looked like Star Trek. It never felt like Star Trek. Maybe it was a version of Star Trek, and if you like it, that's fine. But for me, it just never worked. So many questions. Michael Burnham was literally the worst first officer in the history of first officers. And the changes they made just didn't make any sense. Why are they using like Star Wars hologram communications? Like, that is just not, you can do that, I suppose, but why? That's not a Star Trek thing. Also, why would they be using it when they didn't use it 150 years later? So many questions. What else? Oh, where did Saru's people come from? I like Doug. He's a great actor. He's awesome. But where did Saru's people come from? And why are they never mentioned again? Why are they're here in Discovery Time, which takes place before TOS, and they disappear for like 1,000 years and they show up again. It's very odd. So like a lot of problems, and we just couldn't get behind it. It just wasn't working, right? And then we heard Picard was coming back. And, ooh, Picard's coming back. Yes. Awesome. Picard is, they're bringing back TNG. Well, they made it very clear they were not bringing back TNG. Patrick Stewart was real clear. No, in TNG, it's not a TNG show. It's not a TNG reunion. This is about Picard. This is about Picard. Old, frail Picard. And it was like a crappy version of Logan or something. And then he came in. He had this problem in season 1, and he immediately didn't go to his friends of 35, 40 years. He went to go find random people we'd never met. Really, excuse me. Random people not only did we not know and never met, but also they were not charismatic. They had no joy. They had no personality that was interesting. And that's not even the actor's problem. It was actually the writing, because you'll see this season, Michelle Hurd is fantastic. So the characters she was playing in season 1 and 2 are just bad. They were bad characters. The idea that you have this like problem that Starfleet won't help you with, and instead of going to your friends in Starfleet, you go to these random people and beg them for help, makes no sense. And then the atrocities continued in Picard season 1. There was like technical issues with like the way it was shot. The camera angles were all over the place. You never knew where you were in the room, and it wasn't intentional. It was almost like they just didn't know how to shoot it. They brought 7 and 9 back. That was a good moment. I'm going to be honest. Her time on the Borg cube, that really rad montage where she's plugged into the cube and she's like going to take over the cube as the new queen. But it's immediately cut short. Like literally, like you get it for like 30 seconds. And then immediately it's cut short when they start jettisoning on the Borg, and you're not even seeing her at her full power. And the Borg crashes, and there's like these flying flowers in space, and they're like, attacking the other ships. And I should probably go on my other. There you go. They're attacking the ships, and like, why are there flying orchids in space? Why are the orchids attacking the ships? It's so weird. They crash land. This is Picard season 1. If you're just joining us, they're gonna go find this colony of synths, because synths were banned, and they're like, this is like modern day like racism, right? Well, the Romulans show up because surprise, surprise, they're actually the good guys. They're trying to make sure the synths don't activate this tower that brings the Mass Effect universe into the Star Trek universe. Because they want to activate this thing to show these like extra dimensional space tentacles to come through and rescue them from all the evil organics. So the Romulans show up and they're like, yeah, we gotta shut that down. And oh, lo and behold, Riker's ship shows up. Riker's back in his uniform, but they asked Jonathan Frakes to quickly throw the uniform on and read some lines, and he's clearly not prepared. He had not been behind, in front of the camera in a while. He's looking a little disheveled. He shows up in the Titan, and that moment where you should see an awesome new ship, you don't get to see because it's they just took the one ship and they copied and pasted it like 400 times so it was all just one of the same exact model coming in to the frame to fight these Romulans. It's like they don't know that Star Trek fans are crazy about starships. Like we love starships. There's literally a term, starship porn. Like, we love starships. Well, they rush that crappy Titan out, and then they literally double and triple down on it by copying and pasting it in the frame. It's like they don't know that Star Trek people are pausing it right there and looking at all the ships and wondering, where is the familiarity? Where is the ships that we've been watching on screen for 65 years? And he has a couple cool lines, but that's pretty much it. Like Riker was underused and used incorrectly, and that's because Patrick Stewart wanted the Patrick Stewart show. He didn't want Star Trek Picard. What he really wanted was Star Trek Patrick Stewart. And I mean, he got it because they wanted the guy to come back. Because Kurtzman wanted to come back because Kurtzman wanted an easy win. And I got to tell you, the easiest way to win, and we're going to see this going forward, I think, in Star Trek, is to just bring back these legacy stars that have massive followings because they've been operating for 30 or 40 years. They won't bring back William Shatner, though, because A, he's like 90 years old, and he's not with the same agenda. They don't like him. So I assume they're going to be bringing back Janeway. They're probably going to bring back Benjamin Sisko's kid or something. I'm sure it's going to be something like that. Well, but that's the play, right? Bring back some past stuff, and you take something that people loved back in 30 or 40 years ago, and you just sort of completely change it, modify it, and reshape it to fit your like new agenda, your new Sunday school room, your idea of like, I'm gonna be able to preach through these characters that people love, and people are gonna respect. They're gonna listen because they've been watching, Patrick Stewart play this character for years. Well, newsflash, Patrick Stewart has always been a little bit nutty. I've always respected him. He's an amazing actor, but if you go online and listen to these people talk, like these celebrities are nut jobs. They have, Shane's back. Hey, bro. I was just talking about how Patrick Stewart didn't even want TNG to be back for season 1 or season 2. He wanted Star Trek, the Patrick Stewart show. Anyways, yeah, you go online though, and you're gonna definitely find people that these actors, you're gonna find how their hot takes and their political opinions are just sort of sus and weird. I mean, some of them are downright offensive. Like, you're gonna love Deanna Troi in season 3, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna find things that she said that were just downright mean, offensive, and horrible. Same with, I almost said someone else's name. Listen, but all that aside, Star Trek Picard season 3 is not Star Trek Picard, Star Trek the Patrick Stewart show. It's not Star Trek, let me grab these legacy characters and completely modify them to fit our agenda and force them down your throat. This is Berman era legacy Star Trek, and I'm going to say it, at its best. It's just as good as watching, and we said before, Voyager season 4.
Well, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm
what did
glad.
I miss?
You missed my tirade on sort of recapping the last couple seasons of Picard.
Excellent. Well, I got to tell you, I think I was talking about the fact that we waited so long to like get this, for this to come out, so that way we could show you, right, and you could see for yourself that it was actually good. And the really cool thing about it is that it wasn't just us. So it was Robert Meyer Burnett, which has a lot of credibility, been around a long time, good friend. And so he and us, we were kind of championing this thing, but there was,
I was so dim.
like, we were
My
worried,
bad.
like, what's that?
I was so dim. I just looked at my camera preview, and I could barely see. I was like hiding in the dark, like Golem. Yes, let's talk about Star Trek Picard. I just turned the light. The light wasn't on. Sorry, guys.
Right. And so once we had seen it, and finally when other people started having the opportunity to see it, when the screeners went out, and when some select people were able to see the entire season, like Dave Cullen and Nerdrotic, Gary from Nerdrotic, were able to see the whole thing, and a couple other people. It started to come back that yes, indeed, Picard season 3 is great Star Trek once again. And that feeling of being able to be like, yes, other people now see what we're seeing is just a really great feeling, because we kind of were standing out there on an island, being surrounded by all sides and attacked by everybody. But not you people, you wonderful people who've been here in the chat with us.
Folks. Nope.
It's mostly the Twitter mob and
well, you know what's
like
crazy? That. Here's the problem. Before you can't enjoy, you really couldn't before it came out, before people can see for themselves. You couldn't enjoy Star Trek Picard season 3 without getting attacked by everyone. You would get attacked by like the crazy leftist because your previous honesty didn't fit their narrative. And then you would also get attacked by now your own people because you like something that is so like disgusting to them. Like it's like to them it's disgusting. It's horrible. Right. It destroyed their childhood, right? And you understand. And I actually understand both points. I understand why like the real crazy woke mob hates us because they love Star Trek Discovery. I understand that. I understand not liking someone that is taking a poo-poo on the things you like. I totally get that. But I can't control that I hated Discovery. I can't control that.
Right.
And I didn't even hate it for the woke stuff. I hated it because the story was bad. The camera was bad. Like there was it wasn't Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many reasons. So it's funny. Dave Cullen's in the chat now, and just so you guys know, if you guys are not familiar, we started doing a Raw Rant panel show on Monday nights on this channel, and this Monday night we got the gang together. Dave is going to be on the show with us, along with Gary from Nerdrotic, along with Robert Meyer Burnett. We're all going to be talking about Star Trek Picard season 3, and it's going to be a really great discussion because all of us have seen the entire show. And I think it's the first time a group of all of us who've seen the whole thing will actually get to talk together about it. And while we can't obviously spoil anything for you, I think we can, I think it'll be very eye-opening. So you won't want to miss that. That's going to be 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Monday.
Yeah. If you saw the last one, we won't spoil anything on purpose, but there are certain members of that panel that might spoil things.
It's possible that somebody named Robert Meyer Burnett might say something.
We got a super chat from Mexican Iron Man on the member site. Thank you, Mike. I love you, man. He says, being optimistic or positive is not easy in these trying times. Thank you both for all you do. Man, I love it. Dude, Mike, you are such an inspiration, bro. I want you to know that. Thank you.
Yeah, he was actually on the last Monday night show with us. So it was awesome to have him.
He was, yeah.
Did you get PJ's super chats?
I'm getting them right now. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm behind. Shane's camera popped down. 1 second.
No, it's cool.
Yes. I can't put on the screen. My Twidget's not working. Orville Nation for $2. Thank you, sir. Picard season 3 only stresses why secret hideout needs to go. That's true. And he also said in a second super chat, Terry is rowing upstream with this. He does well, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you guys a couple of things, Brian. I'm really passionate about this. You're right. Alex Kurtzman, the reason why, we are not for the type of Star Trek that Alex Kurtzman has been making, but we also recognize that unless you put somebody like Terry Matalas in charge of the whole thing, you're just going to have somebody else who doesn't really care about the fans and what we care about in his shoes. And so that's kind of why we've said, well, look, if we can't get rid of him, then let's just encourage him to do the right thing. That's kind of where we've been. But this second super chat here that JP says about Terry is rowing upstream on this, he does well, in my opinion. I don't think anybody really appreciates the level of sacrifice and crap that Terry Matalas had to take making Picard season 3. You're right. He's rowing upstream. He's rowing against the Hollywood norm on doing a show that's not embracing social politics, that isn't trying to be something that mirrors the divided society that we have. And he just said, look, I just want to make good Star Trek, and he said it, you're going to see in some of the interviews that we've done with him. If you stay with us on the Prime channel every week, and starting tomorrow, our first episode is out a little late. There's a little interview with Terry at the end of each one of our episodes where he talks about each episode, and breaks it down a little bit about what he's thinking. So, we're going to be able to share that with you. And it's going to be really cool. A different take that you won't really see in a lot of other places.
Yeah, it's actually why I was late this morning, because I was up until like 4 a.m. putting that interview together. And
Yeah.
And Shane was messaging me nonstop because my ringer was off.
I was like, is he asleep? What's going on?
That's why my voice sounds so sexy this morning, because I woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, to each their own. So the point is that watching Picard season 3, and if you like it, some people are probably going to feel a little dirty. Like they're going to be like, I shouldn't be liking this. These guys have not treated us well. They've not treated the fandom well. They've made not good stuff. You know what? Just let all that slip off your back and just, try to enjoy it while you can. If we don't get more good Star Trek in the future after this, then at least this is something that you can enjoy. And you know what? There's not a lot of great television out there to enjoy. So, don't be too hard on yourself if you actually like Picard season 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? I don't know why. Why would you be hard on yourself if you enjoy something?
Some people are struggling with it. Gary did a really great breakdown of Picard season 1. It's funny. We weren't sure. We knew Gary had seen the entire show, and we just weren't sure what his take was going to be on it. And when he came out, and I got to tell you, I have so much respect for guys like Dave, for guys like Gary, because it cost them something to come out and say Picard season 3 was good.
Right.
They have a huge fan base that is like completely anti Star Trek ever at any time. And they took a lot of crap on social media in their tweets and their chats of people saying, "Oh, come on," and really giving them a hard time. Do you know how much character it takes to face so many people and say something truthful and honest? And like Gary said in his Twitter, he said, "I would rather lose my channel than be dishonest."
Right.
And it's like, you have to respect somebody for doing that. And so for the guys like Dave and for Gary who just like said, I know my fan base isn't going to like this, but I'm going to say how I really feel. I just have mad respect for those guys. So
yeah, it was very, very cool. It was funny when I saw I'd rather lose my channel than be dishonest. I'm like, this is why this is why we like you. This is why when you speak and you give us your opinion, we know that you're telling the truth. You're not just like, there are people on YouTube that we have no idea if we're being sold something or if they're actually just telling us the truth, right?
Right.
We've mentioned them before, but I'm not going to say their names again. But there are people with glasses, frizzy hair, and loud, crazy mics, and you know what I'm talking about. And we don't know half the time if that person is selling us something. We don't know if it's a sponsored video,
Right.
And it's very difficult, and we don't know if her bias and agenda is sort of sneaking into, and this, and I'm not just picking on one person. I'm using her as an example because she's huge. We don't know if her bias and agenda is not sneaking into everything she's talking about, because we know for a fact that it's happened before. So when she's reviewing, say, Ant-Man, she's like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. You're like, well, I don't. Now I sort of want to watch it.
Because you're like, well, okay, that's a good point, because her take is generally kind of opposite as to
Kind of
what we
opposite,
think.
right?
Yeah, so that's a good point. I think you make a really good point there. And about supporting it. So as you guys know, we obviously want more great Star Trek, and we want people to support it who actually like it. But if you don't want to support it because you're still upset about what happened in the past, I get it. We support you making that decision. We can't tell you what to do. We don't want to tell you what to do. We're like the anti-tell you what to do. Unlike Doomcock, who's tweeting out, if you watch Star Trek Picard season 3, you are the worst human being on the face of the planet ever, of all people. The tweet came out last night, 2 hours before the show came out. And it's like, the crappy thing is, like, so much that Doomcock said, especially when he first came out, is stuff that we just agree with. So much of what's happened in Hollywood and the garbage that we've had to tolerate, he's just been right about.
Right.
And so, but it seems like he doesn't have the ability to change. I feel sorry for him in a way, because he's locked himself into this opinion. 2 hours before the episode comes out, he's basically saying that I don't even know what the tweet said, but something to the effect of, you're all sheep. You're all cucks and sheep and idiots if you watch this, because of what they've done to you before. But it just tells us that, well, he doesn't have to be accountable to anybody because he's wearing a mask. So, I get it. That's who you are. But dude, you can put out your tweet and then go take off your mask and go to lunch at Wendy's or whatever the heck, wherever you go to lunch
at. He could
be
going to lunch with Kurtzman and we wouldn't know.
And, nobody will ever know. So there's a little bit about that accountability that's not cool.
Right.
And, it's one thing to be like,
look, tweet real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Supporting Picard season 3 is just proving you're as pathetic as Kurtzman always thought you were. It says Hollywood can all over you for years, and as soon as they sprinkle member berries, or someone said roddenberries, that's hilarious.
I like that, actually.
On you'll lap it all up again like good little sheep. Pathetic.
Yeah.
By the way, we got to start a petition for changing member berries in Star Trek to roddenberries.
Roddenberries. I like that idea. So, he can have this, it's what's great, Doomcock can have his opinion, and he can say, look, I think that supporting Picard season 3, even if it's good, is the wrong thing to do because it sends Kurtzman and the powers that be the wrong message. We know, and that's fine. He can have that opinion, but he doesn't need to insult everybody who is watching it. That's the problem with what's going on with him and all of these tweets he puts out. He's just attacking people. I just have a feeling he wouldn't do that if he was talking to my face without his mask on.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't do that to you.
Well, I don't know if he would do it to anybody, because the thing is,
if you guys haven't seen Shane in person, Shane is a very tall, imposing man. I can see a lot of people not wanting to tell you in person things. But look, bro, I'm your brother, and sometimes I'm like, I don't think I want to tell him anything in person right now. He's having a bad day.
No, I got nothing but love in my heart. But the reality is that it's easier for him to just kind of go off the hook because he's not accountable to what he says. I mean, I feel bad for him. He is 100% on the wrong side of this topic. You can go through the entire community, and everybody who's seen it so far, all the way through, they like it in our community. Okay. These are people who've hated Star Trek. So he's going to be on the wrong side of whether or not Picard season 3 is good, whether he's on the wrong side of, the thing that people are going to question is he on the wrong side of punishing Secret Hideout, Alex Kurtzman, the executives at Star Trek, by liking it and supporting it? The problem is, if you guys haven't noticed, over the last 5-6 years, they've been okay with us not supporting it. They've been okay with the position that we're not supporting Star Trek. And guess what they're doing? They're still making Star Trek.
They're still making Star Trek.
So if you think that like not supporting it, the good stuff is going to somehow get Alex Kurtzman fired and get the Star Trek executives to change their mind, guess what? It's not going to happen. You know what's just going to happen? You're just going to keep getting shitty Star Trek.
Right. That's it.
So when good Star Trek does finally come along, listen, guys, we got a whole video about this. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but if good Star Trek does come along, this is the one moment we have to say to the executives, to say to Kurtzman, hey, woo, this is the Star Trek we want to watch. Okay. Because ultimately their goal isn't to take a big poop on us on purpose. They want to make good Star Trek. Okay. They just don't have a clue as to what good Star Trek is.
Yeah, that's a problem. Their version of good Star Trek is like, it's wrong. Like they don't understand.
Else.
Like they think it's a mix of Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars.
Right. It's their version. We talk about it in this video that Gene Roddenberry had a vision for Star Trek. It's a weird vision. Guys, it's the future of space, and there's like this idealism, this hope, this shiny hill, house on the hill where everybody gets along, and we're out there exploring space together. Okay. When Gene died, Rick Berman took that over, and he didn't know Star Trek. He didn't even like Star Trek. He didn't grow up with it. He was just, he was Gene's assistant. And he said, you know what, this is what this guy wanted. This is what we're going to continue doing. And through this militant, almost, unemotional way, he made it exactly what Gene wanted it to be. He would axe out people's ideas to change it, to do different things. Nope. This is what they do on Star Trek. This is how Star Trek works. Well, that's the way Star Trek was until it got reset in 2017. And, Rick's gone. And now it's this somebody else's version. They didn't go back and say, let's do Gene's version of Star Trek. Let's do what Rick continued. They said, you know what I'd like Star Trek to be? And then that's what they did. And that's the problem is, Star Trek can't be what you want it to be because Star Trek is what it was created to be, and that's it. So they don't know. The studio executives didn't know in the 60s that Star Trek was good. It had to be fought for.
Right.
They didn't really know outside of TNG what Star Trek was, and they sure as hell don't know what it is today. But guess what? They own the damn thing.
Right. They own it now. It belongs to them now.
It belongs to us in our hearts and souls, but they own it.
Yeah, they own it.
So, yeah. So anyways, it would be great if they would get rid of the people that don't love and care about Star Trek, but they haven't done that so far. So all we can do is say, this is good Star Trek. Terry Matalas is the guy who wants to keep making Star Trek. So let's let him keep making Star Trek at the very least. As of right now, he's not attached to anything. So as we go through Picard season 3, if you find yourself liking it and you like, well, I really want more of this, you have to make a decision. You can watch the shows on Paramount Plus, and that will let them know. All right. You can be vocal about it on social media, which is what we're doing. And to support it, say, look, we want more of this, at Paramount, we want more of this. Okay. So please make more of this. They did it with Strange New Worlds, guys. When Discovery came around and Pike was introduced, fans were like, oh, we want to see more of that guy.
Right.
And they just kept on it. They didn't let it go. And so finally they're like, well, okay, Akiva Goldsman's like, I can do that. And Kurtzman's like, well, okay, let's do it. Well, guess what? We got a guy, Terry Matalas. I can do that. And right. You know what? He set up the end of Picard season 3 to continue this storyline.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, he's playing. He wanted to continue making it.
Right.
We have
he set it easy for him.
Super Chat from Marvel Nation. We must acknowledge we are all on the same side, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, man.
Well, yeah, we are. Well, kind of. The
Star Trek fans are on the same side. We just want good Star Trek. I
don't know that though. I think they do, but only. Here's my problem: is some Star Trek fans only want good Star Trek if it's done the way they want it done. Like they can't get over the fact that we got screwed, right? The problem is we got screwed. Like it's done. It's in the past. So living in that, living in the shit of that, living in the disgust of that, is not a comfortable place to be. But you got to get out of it and say, well, we want more good Star Trek. That's the only thing you can do. So I think that's where we're divided. You're right. We all want good Star Trek, but some of us only want good Star Trek if other people are fired. And what if they don't get fired?
Well, on that note, we have a super chat from T. Stoney. That's a funny name. Mando being a hit did not save Star Wars. That's true.
That's a fair statement.
It should have started the process.
Right.
And
it did. What it did do is it gave Jon Favreau more pull inside the Star Wars universe.
More power.
And John's an ally. He wants more good Star Wars. The problem is Star Wars is a huge machine, and they're still churning out other shit that doesn't work. Is Star Trek going to do that? I don't know. I mean, look, if they keep making Discovery, I'm okay with that as long as they make more Terry Metalis, more Terry Trek.
Right.
Fine, go make your Discovery. I don't care. There can be a Trek for everybody, but there's no Trek for us right now. And meaning legacy fans who want Star Trek to be the heart of Star Trek.
Right. Yeah. The heart of Star Trek.
All right. So I don't. We can probably beat this up all day long, but are we gonna do a review of the episode?
Yeah, but real quick, just to be clear, our last video on Prime is blowing up, and you know what that means. Whenever you have a video that's doing really well or a stream that's doing really well, here come the trolls, and we have all those Telegram trolls. So everyone that's listening right now,
that's got to stop.
If you ever get a message from us saying congratulations, right there, right away, it's total bullshit.
We're never going to say congratulations.
We're never going to say the words congratulations. We're never going to respond to you in a comment. That's stupid. If we did respond, it would be on a video, or it would be on Twitter, or it would be email or something. And we don't just give away random stuff without mentioning it in the video. That's very clear too.
Right. Yeah. So don't ever click on any links that you're not 100% sure is coming from us. And the only way you know it's going to come from us is if you've heard about it.
Right, because they're using our logo. They recreated a new channel that looks sort of like our channel. It's not us.
You would think that YouTube would be on top of this. I mean,
it's happening like in real time though. YouTube might be on top, but we don't know. But what's happening is they see a video that's getting 1,000 views an hour or something, right? They see a video that's doing really well, and they go, "Oh, well, this is gonna have legs for a week." So they quickly grab the logo of that creator, and they go make a channel, and then they start commenting as us, and it's like Telegram for Popcast. Congratulations! You've run trip to Jamaica. Click here. Like, what? Don't click there. Do not click there.
Yeah. Any of you guys who do that for a living, I know most of it is overseas folks. I just want you all to know, if there's a hell, you're going to burn in it.
Yeah, you're going to burn it.
You're going to burn in it for trying to rip off people, man. That's just the most disgusting thing you can do.
Although, because of those trolls, I was able to remember something that I need to put here. We did have a super thanks from Trickle Power. And it was on our last thing. I mean, it's like a super chat you can leave after the video is live, right?
Yeah.
And what he said was, for $9.99, thank you, Trickle Power. Thank you both for providing actionable ways for us who cannot contribute more than a few words or some money. Thank you for dedicating your time and your passion to this. Cheers. Thank you, Trickle Power.
That means a lot. And I got to tell you, our passion is for real. Like, I got to tell you, I get a little overwhelmed with emotion at the idea that Star Trek could be back in such a loving. It's so important. I mean, look, when I was growing up, Captain Kirk was my dad. I mean, frankly speaking, I didn't have a dad around. He was actually with you, Brian, and but he wasn't around for me. So, but Captain Kirk was.
He was with me in spirit.
Yes, in spirit. But Captain Kirk was there for me.
He worked 12, 15 hours a day. So
right.
And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, wasn't a classic.
Everybody's got to do what they got to do. But for whatever reason, there was an absence, and so for what, so Captain, I don't know why he did. He filled that role for me. I don't know why. So,
our dad has Captain Kirk qualities too, which is funny.
He's, I guess, not. I don't know.
He loves the ladies on other planets.
He loves the ladies on other planets. Oh, that's great.
He does.
That is true. He does have some Kirk. Maybe I noticed something about him that drew me to it. But anyway, so it's been a love affair since I was a kid, and as it is for most Star Trek fans, I'm not in the boat alone. So it does, knowing the sacrifice that Terry had to make to do this. Can I tell you guys that the breaking into the vault that is locked down by crappy Hollywood stuff right now, him doing that might even be the reason why he's not being, up for the next series right now.
Right. Yeah. Imagine that.
It might be.
He's not being considered because he didn't push an agenda. Because he didn't.
We don't know that for sure.
We don't know, but right. I wouldn't be surprised.
Would you be surprised? Yeah, who knows motivations of people, behind the scenes. Certainly Alex Kurtzman has not made himself a friend of the fandom. He doesn't share his thoughts, and already James Gunn has made himself like a hero of the fandom for DC.
Shane, explain as you would a child.
I just did. He's closed off, and he doesn't really talk about Star Trek with any passion.
Right. Zero.
It's when you create something, or when you are responsible for something and you don't have any passion about it, you're not going to do a good job. It just doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So thank you for the super thanks, because it means a lot to us. We put a lot into this, and we care about Star Trek.
Yeah. Also, super thanks are the most selfless way to support a channel, because you have no idea if you're going to be acknowledged at all.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Is
that the ones in the video?
Yeah, so you can actually hit thanks and give a super chat that shows up in the regular comments.
It's a shame that YouTube doesn't automatically move those to the top of the chat.
Well, it's crazy. When it first came out, that's the way it was. If you gave a super thanks, it would automatically be highlighted at the top. I guess people complained about that. Maybe supplanting the pin comment or something. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, you don't want to supplant the pin comment, obviously, but it should at the very least go right below the pin comment. I mean, they spent money to have their comments seen. I mean, it seems at the very least. I mean, gosh, YouTube, you are taking 40% of that money.
Or maybe have a sort option that just shows the supporting comments.
I think, I think it should take priority. It's priority comment.
Yeah, it should. Speaking of priority, the Dork Knight super chat. What's up, Danny? He said your Picard video on Prime was fire. Prime referring to our main channel. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that, dude.
That means a lot, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah,
we put a lot. You guys want to hear some passion? Go watch that video. There's a lot of passion in that video. I mean, it ekes through.
Yeah. I want to show you guys. The reason I said explain as you would a child, because I used in the video when Shane was talking about basically how Kurtzman doesn't understand Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
It's not even that he's trying to be malicious. We really don't believe he understands it or cares about it. Mm-hmm. I put that clip from Galaxy Quest, explain as you would a child. And I thought for a minute, am I being too mean? I was like, eh.
I mean, no, I mean,
it's funny. It's funny.
If somebody came to us and said, look, we're doing this soap opera and we want to give you $50 million to manage this soap opera. Regardless of whether or not I gave a crap about Days of Our Lives or anything else, I'm going to make a soap opera.
Yeah, you'd be an expert.
Yes, I will become an expert. But
yes,
but I mean, I have the passion for it. I will do whatever it takes to earn that $50 million. Can't blame him for taking a bunch of money to make something.
Yeah,
I mean, ultimately, when push comes to shove, in the end, the people responsible for the state of Star Trek are the people in charge of the studio, of the network. They're the people ultimately. They hired him. I'm sorry. Go out and find somebody who's a fan of Star Trek and let them make your stuff.
Yeah, and let's say Kurtzman lied and said he is a fan of Star Trek.
Well,
Well, then
Wouldn't
when
you?
when you realize that he's not, why can't you course correct? Right?
Well, they gave him a big old deal,
Right.
right? They gave him a big deal, and he was involved. He helped write the original 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, which was, successful in, when it came out. And I think Paramount said, okay, we're just going to like latch onto this and just ride it all the way to the streaming services. I mean, that's what they figured. And they thought, well, here's some people who made something that people liked. I mean, it wasn't that we liked what they made. It's that we really liked the actors, like Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, just go down the list, Simon Pegg, everybody that's in that show, they're just really great actors. Zoe Saldana, love them, right? And they brought an Elseworlds element to Star Trek. It was like a different universe. So we were like, okay, shit, we don't care. It's a different universe.
It's like the best way to explain it too. Like, so Elseworlds is like a DC Comics thing, but they did it best when they created like that whole idea of Elseworlds, because that allowed creators to create outside the confines of canon, right?
Right. But the problem was, and this is a problem, like if you enjoyed those movies, that's okay. But you know what it did? It set up failure for new Trek, new Star Trek. It did. It set the stage for the failure of what was to come, because the executive said, oh, well, this is what people want. And so they kind of embraced the new Star Trek feel, idea,
right,
look, and drug it into the streaming. And that's what we ended up with. Terry has had to fight tooth and nail to get us back to something that's more aligned with legacy, and so, it really was a mistake when you're looking back. As much as you might enjoy those characters and those people, those actors, it really screwed up what we're doing now. And so now they have this idea that this is what successful Star Trek should be, and it's not.
It's certainly not. So, another super chat. Thank you from who's next here? Oh, Yorkshire Geek. That old Yorkshire Geek. Here's a $5, guys. Now send me the rest of season 3.
Costs a little more than that, buddy. No, that's really sweet.
I'm pretty sure that if we sent any of the season 3 out, we would just be instantly instigated by CBS attorneys. It wouldn't even be a lawsuit. It would just be they would just come to my house.
Take your children and say, now we're even.
Yeah, now we're even. Hiroshi the dog for $2. Thank you, Hiroshi. Oh no, the episodes come one day later in Germany. Oh, that is good to know. Oh my God, because I was talking to somebody else last night, Shane, and there are people that will not be able to see the first episode of Picard until like freaking Saturday.
Yeah, so I think they're aware of the fact that it's come out over here, so spoilers are coming. If you're watching and you're overseas and you haven't seen it yet, note that obviously it's going to get spoiled for you. So hold on to that and wait. Or there's some people who don't mind getting a breakdown of it before seeing it.
Yeah,
which is something we're going to do.
I don't think that, and maybe it's because I've seen it like 5 times, but like, I don't think a breakdown. Breakdown's only going to enhance your viewing experience, in my opinion.
Maybe. I'm the kind of person who doesn't like trailers too much, so I probably would not like a breakdown.
Yeah, like I think I told Shane the name of one of the characters once, and he's like, "Why would you do that?"
I got Sixth Sense ruined for me at the theater while I'm waiting to watch it, and ever since then I've been a little bit weird about it. So
to be fair, though, those kinds of movies only have one twist, and like once you realize the twist, like most of the enjoyment's gone.
Well, yeah, that's what happened.
Exactly. Like who rewatches Sixth Sense?
I've probably never seen it again.
Right.
After the first one. Yeah.
Right.
No, you're right. Did you get the Orville super chat for $5?
Google just popped up. Can you guys stop listening to me, please? Thank you. Yes, I'm getting into it. Orville Nation for $5. FYI, M3T3K continues to come after my channels. Lots more to come after this. Yeah, listen. Another person also said M3T3K came after their channel. And
Mystery Science Theater, yeah.
Yeah, and we forwarded that information to our rep. PJ, please send us the email you got with that contact, and we will forward it to people. We will attempt to help you.
Did you get the one where he talks about Terry walking a fine line?
Yeah.
In diplomacy. You got that one already?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Our Twidget is not working. That normally shows us the super chat, so I got to go through manually. Dork Knight. Kirk was like my dad too, as an '80s latchkey kid. And in the members section, we got a super chat from Joe Cronin. Sup, my daddies?
Joe Cronin. If you guys like wrestling, you need to go check out Joe's channel. He's all wrestling all the time. That guy has been grinding it out for years, and he's very entertaining. Thanks, Joe.
The other day, my wife was watching one of our live shows, and we were making fun that Todd Stashwick was a daddy.
Oh yeah.
And after the show, my wife was like, you're sort of like a daddy. I'm like, no, I'm a dad. I'm a dad. So now the term daddy is becoming like this like over sexualized thing,
Yes. Hey, that's great that your wife calls you a daddy, dude. That's good news.
She said sort of like a daddy. Yeah, she didn't go. She agreed Todd Stashwick is a daddy.
Well, if you get her in the corner and say, call me daddy, then eventually she's just going to be like, yeah, okay. Yeah,
I'm not going to get her in the corner and do that. That's assault. Mexican Iron Man on the members section. Shane just brought a tear to my eye. Shane's the only other person I've ever heard online that I've said so many times, Captain Kirk was my dad. Super true for me too.
Thank you. Iron
and John
Man.
Burns. Hey, welcome back, John Burns. Now we're even 5 years later. Please, God, take your kids back.
Well, thank you, Iron Man, for that comment, because I think there's a lot of us like that there's just this spot in our heart for Star Trek that's been there so long, and it means a lot to us, man. It means a lot to have this season. If we don't get another good season after this, well, thank God we at least got this one, I guess. So we can always go back and watch reruns.
And I'm there's no spoilers here, but I'm telling you right now, when we get to the end of this season, the amount of people that are going to lose their minds at the possibilities, man, I'm being careful, at the possibilities of what's to come. Like, if you don't think we're not going to make a speculative Prime video, you've lost your mind. Because it is going to be such a look at what's possible and what should be, that if it doesn't happen, then frankly speaking, I believe Kurtzman just hates the franchise. Then you can't look at that and look at the outcrying and the passion from people and then just be like,
I wonder if that's why he's behaving the way he is. I wonder if he realizes that Terry set up like this situation where it's like, well, if you don't move forward, you're kind of making a mistake. And I wonder if it feels like maybe it strong-armed him into, and I don't think that's what Terry was trying to do. I think he was just trying to, tee it up and say, hey, this is going to be easy. Let's just keep going with this because it's awesome. And I wonder if he took it as like, his arm being twisted or something. I don't know. We don't really know a lot. He keeps everything very close to the vest. He's a very quiet guy, Alex Kurtzman. And
he's like the opposite of James Gunn. Like James Gunn is going to be going to share his opinions and feelings like 24/7, and no one knows what Kurtzman's doing.
He doesn't even let people on the inside know him. Let's just say this: there's a lot of people that we know that work near him that don't necessarily know him, and so we don't know what's going on in his head. All we know is that if he doesn't continue what Terry did, I mean. Let's all agree on one thing, Star Trek fans. Let's all agree that we need to have a present era Star Trek show. So something following in the vein of TNG, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, something that continues forward. And now we have Picard, right?
Right.
So we're in 2403. That's when Picard season 3 happens. So let's keep going. 2404, 2405. Let's keep moving the franchise. Let's not go back and do any more prequels. Let's not go far into the future. Let's just keep telling the story in the present, right?
Right. And that's funny
what Terry's given us.
That's how this episode starts. It starts with the words, "In the 25th century."
There you go. I mean, there's a reason why it's there.
Right. Real quick,
there's a reason why it's there.
We're going to jump into the ups and downs. because I know that's what a lot of people want to see. But real quick, Matt Vader says, going to the gym to get some bag work in, pretending it's Brian. It's scaring me right now.
The hell is that about?
Well, because
did you not see the show?
He said that if he didn't like it, he was going to come to my house.
Uh-oh. Salty nerds are going to be the not like it group, huh? All right.
I don't see how. Look,
try to stand in the face of that win, boys.
Even if the first episode didn't sell you, like the second episode will. There's a reason why they showed 2 episodes at the premiere.
If the first episode doesn't sell you for one reason, William Riker is William freaking Riker.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, he is the best version of himself.
Yeah, when he punches
he's ever been.
When he punches Ed Spleer's character in the face.
Yeah, screw everything else. William Riker is back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it.
Riker is back, baby. The original daddy.
The original daddy. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Orville Nation $2 super chat. Terry may have used up his only ace with Kurtzman. Yeah, it's possible. You know, something you guys got to realize is that like Kurtzman's going to making other stuff. Like he wants to be he's going and doing other movies. Akiva Goldsman just came out that he's writing movies again. He's supposed to be working on Strange New Worlds. So like if all these people are focused on other projects and not Star Trek, what does that mean? Like if you're running Star Trek, you should just be freaking running Star Trek. You shouldn't be going to do a bunch of other things. You're utilizing. Do you know how little creative juice we all have in our brains? Do you know it's not a lot? And when you use it on something, you don't have any left over for something else. Right. You know, it happens all the time. So they're spreading themselves thin. It's a warning sign that Star Trek is not going to be good if you're doing other things. So sorry, go ahead with that.
All right, guys. So listen, we appreciate the super chats. We're going to be collecting them during the up and downs, but during the up and down review, we're not going to do super chats. We're going to wait until the end of the review to do super chats because the natural flow of the episode will get disrupted too much.
Well, but feel free to put them out there and we'll do them in order. That way they're when they come back.
Yeah. So
if you want to,
we'll collect the super chats and then as soon as the review is over, we'll go down the list on both sections, the member section and the Unleashed section, and we'll read them out. We'll read them out and we'll answer questions. So if you have questions during the show, feel free to ask. Here's the deal. Don't ask a question. Please don't ask a question that has a spoiler in it. It'll be hard for us to answer the question. We will do our best to answer it.
We'll do our best.
We don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil anything. But if you have, you know, we'll give you as much as we can about it.
Yeah, we keep getting like Instagram messages of people asking us to spoil it for them. And listen, you don't want that. I'm just gonna be really honest. Like, you legitimately do not want me to spoil it for you, because it's really like there's moments in this that come and you're like, oh my god, I am not. I refuse to take that away from you. I won't do it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a good point. $5 super chat before we get into it from Badger Wee Johnson. I'm usually on the Doomcock side of things, but you gentlemen have convinced me to give this a shot. Thank you, Badger. You know,
welcome, Badger J. Johnson. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Badger. No, we're not Doomcock. We don't want, listen, Doomcock he's great on his own, doing his own thing. And there's a lot about him we respect. We just don't like him being mean to people unnecessarily. So thank you. Hopefully you enjoy it. And we look forward to hearing more about what you have to say.
Okay. So we see your super chats on the member side. Okay. Those are really good ones, but we'll save them until after the review.
Okay.
All right, because I don't want to derail it too much. Let's rock and roll.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Oh, dude, You were
born ready?
I wasn't born ready, but
What kind of line is that? I was born ready.
That's like the classic 80s actions. I was born ready.
I know, right?
You're like, no, dog, you were born in Wisconsin. No, but here's the deal. For like 6 months now, I have been waiting for this moment for 6 months.
Yes, you have.
I mean, Shane, what was I telling you 6 months ago? Oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait for the up and down review of this.
We're here. Today's the day.
And that's why when we stopped doing up and down reviews for a while, I was like, I don't care if everyone hates the up and down review. I don't care. When Picard comes back, we're doing up and down reviews.
That's right.
It's happening.
And so, all right, let's do it. I don't know how many downs there's going to be. I mean, it's not a perfect series, but god damn, it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. All right, I'm setting it up. 1 second. Dude, Windows 11 sucks. Do not upgrade, you guys. Don't upgrade. Don't do it.
Didn't you tell me not to upgrade until after like a couple of things have happened?
And when we were at Terry's house yesterday, we went to Terry's house to interview him. My computer, I left my computer on because I left in a hurry, and it updated without my permission. Yeah. So I'm going to be unraveling that mess later on. Thank you.
He has the most badass arcade room.
Oh, it's so damn cool.
So cool. Like classic era pinball machines, like a Star Trek pinball machine and the original Donkey Kong video game. It was so cool.
Bro, every time we go to one of these, like just Titans house, I'm calling them Titans. I realize that my collection game is really weak.
So we should probably give an update on that. So, we did a big interview with Terry that we're actually going to unveil, I think, on this channel. Are we doing it Sunday?
I honestly don't know, because we still have to unravel and organize all the stuff for the recaps. I don't know.
Like the non-recap stuff though. We did a big section of non-recap interview.
Right.
So we're going to release that as one interview.
We will, but I don't know if it will be this Sunday.
Okay, so that's something we're going to do. Now, the following Sunday is the one you guys have been waiting for, the Todd Stashwick, Captain Shaw interview, where we do an hour-long breakdown with the actor and just talk about all kinds of stuff. We did that in his game room. Fantastic game room. In his nerd lair. And hopefully we'll have more of those. We're reaching out right now, trying to get other actors. And what we're trying to give you is like a real good behind-the-scenes look at their lives and their choices, their decisions, and how Star Trek impacts them. So that series hopefully will be running. But yeah, you ready?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry I derailed you, bro. That was not my intention. All right. Here we go. Oh wait, I need to set up. I need to make sure the subtitles are on, right? Shane likes the subtitles.
There's also, if you want like a more visual, there's going to be a probably a better visual breakdown of the episode coming out tomorrow. Is it tomorrow, Brian?
Yeah. Tomorrow. So we're shooting for tomorrow morning. It might be Saturday morning, if I'm being honest, but I'm going to try to make sure it happens today. But it's going to be on the Prime channel, and it's going to be an epic, like detailed breakdown of every scene, every Easter egg of the entire first episode, and then at the very end of that will be a couple tidbits from the man himself, Terry Matalas.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the best part of it, is what he has to say about the episode. So
right, so look for that. I'm really going to try to do it tomorrow morning. I woke up late this morning. I was organizing all the footage last night until like 4 a.m, and so I just got a late start because of that. So all right.
Okay.
Anyways, no excuses. I'm going to get done, boys. All right, here we go. We are talking about Star Trek Picard, Season 3, the final season, Episode 1, the episode we've been waiting for at least 6 months now. And this is how it works. If we like something, we give it an up vote. If we dislike something, we give it a down vote. And at the very end of the episode, we are going to tally these two numbers together, average them out, and then have an official Popcast score. And the great thing about this is throughout the next 10 episodes, because we're going to do this every week, we're going to be able to figure out what our favorite episode is by the end of the series. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I already know what my favorite episode is.
Well, I mean, you know what your favorite episode is, but but the numbers don't lie. There's
I got you.
There's like, this is your favorite episode, but then like there's the math that's going to be applied here.
Okay, but I would argue that more cool things in an episode doesn't necessarily make it the best episode.
All right, so I guess the ups and downs don't matter then, Shane.
Well, no, it does. Like for cool, I don't know. It's hard to say. We really need a scale of like a 1 to 10 because we don't have a limit on how many ups or downs you can do.
Well,
It doesn't give you.
but that's why. So the best score we've ever gotten so far was 11, I think, and that was for the
All right.
very first episode of the last season of the Orville, right?
I'll have to be detailed then. Okay.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Opening up with the new. This is like the way all the new Trek shows open up is with this, logo. It's cool. It is. It's like the best thing about New Trek, by the way, is before Picard season 3 was like the new logo. All right, but it says in the 25th century.
Upvote.
First upvote right here.
Hey, we're not doing a prequel, guys.
Yeah.
We're not time traveling into 2021.
Yes, the best thing about this series is we're not time traveling. We're not going back before Voyager, before TOS, or during the Khan series, or during this like obscure decade of where no stories were produced. No. We're in the 25th century. We are forward in the prime timeline. I don't consider Discovery in the future a timeline. In our timeline, we're moving forward in the 25th century. And I love that they decided to open with this, just to be very clear. It is almost sort of I'm not going to say it's a dig, but it feels like a subtle dig at what has come before. Like, no, just
so many things that feel like a subtle dig.
And it's using the TNG font. It's using the actual next generation. Yeah. This is the next generation font in the next generation color, and it says very clearly in the 25th century. This is such a strong statement. I don't think people realize how strong of a statement this is.
No, I think you're right. I think he's basically saying this is where we need to be.
Right. And I love it. I love that it's in the font, by the way. And there's a song playing. It's called "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire." I don't want to set the world on
fire. By the Ink Spots.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I have a belief that I believe what that means is. So if you look at the lyrics of that song, I don't want to set it says, I just want to start. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. So we haven't confirmed this, but I believe that it probably has something to do with Terry and his team wanting to light the flame of Star Trek in our hearts again with this. I think that would be an appropriate.
I feel like you're reaching, but it's beautiful, so I'll allow it.
Well, I'll believe what I want to believe, man. That's what it is.
Yeah. F you, bro. So there's a little ship out in the void, just sitting there, and a fiery, clearly evil ship is approaching.
The good and bad, you can see it, right? Yeah, that ship is called the Helios, by the way.
So yeah, the Helios. It's interesting. Yeah, you literally like you can see the dichotomy here, right? You have like the the angelic blue and the hellfire red. It literally looks like it's on fire. Like it looks like a hell. Like if Dark Side had a ship in DC, that's what it would look like.
I love also the way this scene's set up. We'll go back one more. So I love that when this is shot, like you see the ship and the song is kind of fading out, and then all of a sudden this kind of bad thing just rolls into the shot. I thought that was really yeah. It sweeps in, and you're like, oh, okay, well that's what's going to happen now.
Yeah, the noise the Shrike makes in this episode is awesome too. All right, and we're aboard the Helios. What is the Helios? What is it, Shane? What is the Helios?
It's a medical ship.
It's a medical ship. Look, they got like orchids.
Okay, I couldn't figure out anything for the orchids, but as you go through this, I do have some Easter eggs here for us.
Okay.
Got pearls. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, maybe it's supposed to allude to the fact that it's a lady on the ship, maybe?
Yeah, it's clearly it's a lady.
You got these laughter and unlaughter. I guess it's sadness and laughter.
Yeah, theater.
Comedy. Theater. I can't see what that is.
That looks like a distillery. Someone's making some legit moonshine.
All right. Yeah, we don't see that, but there is something else here that you'll see in a second. So what we have leading out here is this is actually the voice of Captain Picard. It goes back to a log entry he does from the third act of the Best of Both Worlds episode. It's TNG's third season finale. And that's when the Borg begin an invasion of Federation space much sooner than the Federation expected. And he's giving this, he's kind of breaking it down, saying that they're hiding in a dust cloud and the Borg are waiting for him to come out of hiding, which is very interesting to what's actually happening right now.
This is so good.
Right?
This is such extreme foreshadowing. It's so good. It's so good.
So, and what's interesting is some people are going to go, oh, well, that's because, well, they're just fan servicing that thing. And by the way, I want to say fan service, people have turned that into a bad word. Do you know when you make a TV show, the whole point is fan service.
Right.
The point of making the show is to service the fans. Okay. So as long as the fan service has a point, then it's good. This has a point because Beverly, as we'll soon learn, is being hunted. And so she's obviously already looking into contacting Captain Picard because she's not exactly sure what the heck to do.
Yeah.
So she's listening to this log entry.
Yeah, it's this really, really good setup here. Man, talk about forethought. All right. It's almost like a fan made this.
I wonder.
A fan made this.
As it should be. So we get a little more panning, a little more. There we go. Stop on that thing right there.
That's what I was trying. I was trying to stop on it without getting the copyright claim. Go ahead.
So, yeah, good call. So this is a medical away team plaque from Core Corelli 5, which is an Easter egg from season 3, the season 3 TNG episode titled Allegiance. And if you remember that episode, it's where Captain Picard and 3 other people are abducted and imprisoned by an unknown force and replaced by duplicates on their own ships, which, interesting.
Bro, this is
what? That's such a deep cut, like future, like something to think about.
This whole setup is so epically done.
It's masterful.
It's masterful.
Masterfully done.
And a lot of people aren't going to realize how masterful this is until they've actually watched the whole series.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, man. Same with the end credits, which we're going to get to. Oh my God. It's like, all right. Anyways.
Remind me to have a comment for the Dork Night when we get off of this thing. I don't want to mention it now, but we'll talk about this afterwards, Danny. Your little comment right now. Okay, let's keep going.
All right. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
You'll see it over.
You're distracting me, Shane. You're distracting me.
It's my job. Okay, so wait. Go back up. Wait, no. Let's see.
Wait, up here?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the next one. You got it. You got it right.
No, I had it right. Yeah.
Stop on that little
I knew I was
case. Right. Oh wait, stop there. Actually, go back.
Hold on.
Whatever
the
you're
case
at.
Is first. The case is first.
Oh, it's before the.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't set it.
Okay, so there was a little bit of a misunderstanding between Brian and I here. So if you'll see that case right there, it says Lieutenant Commander Jack R. Crusher. Important thing to note here is that, of course, is the name of Beverly's ex-husband, who is Wesley Crusher's father. And there's a case with his name on it. So obviously Beverly's been carrying that around for a long time as a something to remember from him.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, the confusion was.
Nah, we can't say it now.
You can't say it right now.
I made a mistake of saying that. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, how?
You'll understand soon.
Yeah, you'll understand.
Although actually, Gary from Nerderotic spoiled it during his thing.
Oh, he did. He
did. He spoiled it. But I think he also thought what we talked about probably. So
right, because I thought that was the case too. I thought this was a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. And
so before you get to her,
my bad.
There's one more little thing we should mention right there. So that is Romulan ale.
Yes, I have some, Shane. I have some. Actually,
I've always wanted to know what it tastes like.
Yeah,
but I guess you don't know.
Andorian Blue. I would love to know what it tastes like, but you will pry this from my cold, dead hands before I open it. I'm not opening this gorgeous special reserve.
Anyways, what does this mean? So I think what this shows possibly is that this is contraband still with the Federation, And it's possible that their ship might just be outside of Federation space, or maybe their whole take on things that you shouldn't have is pretty flexible or something like that. So it does tell us that probably the ship is outside of Federation space, most likely.
Yeah. Or she just literally likes Romulan ale.
Well, it's contraband though, so it's got to say something about.
Just take it out of here. It's
on your ship.
My show. Sorry, what was that?
It says something about keeping it on your ship and maybe what you think about things, as we'll learn coming up.
And we see it's Beverly Crusher.
All right, we get to see her. The redheaded Beverly Crusher is now the silver-haired older fox, I guess.
I guess he is. Yeah, silver fox.
I mean, she looks attractive. I mean, she's obviously aged, but the way the silver in her hair looks really nice.
Yeah,
and there's an alarm going off, and somebody is trying to board her ship.
Someone is trying to board the ship, Captain. Warp core activated. I'm glad they used the right, and this is my first upvote after the Easter eggs. Actually, I got to upvote the Easter eggs because they're like...
Oh, me too. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So
I'm not going to upvote each one, but like they're so well put to set up the series that it's really hard not to upvote them.
Yeah.
They also used the right computer voice here. I don't think it's the same computer voice, but it sounds so similar.
They couldn't get that voice, I don't think.
Yeah,
it was talked about.
Yeah, it was talked about, and someone was like, "Well, you could have." They had a library of the person's voice. I don't know about all that, but I do know that.
Well, it also would have cost a lot to digitally put it together. So
yeah, or something. Yeah.
Right.
But the original actress who actually was in TNG as Troy's mother, right?
Yeah, and Jean's wife.
And Jean's wife, she passed away, so they couldn't get her. So maybe in the future we'll hear her voice again. I'm sure.
Majel Barrett.
Majel Barrett, that's her name. Is it Barrett or Beret?
It's Barrett, bro.
It's Barrett, right? Why is it? Why do I always hear Beret?
Beret only has one T at the end.
I see. All right.
Barrett has two.
All right. Now, what Crusher does here is really phenomenal. So there's a warning. That ship's on the way. It's coming to give her problems. She locks. I don't know why. 10 seconds. She locks someone in. And person you don't know yet. She closes the door and locks what appears to be a man's voice into a compartment of the ship, assumingly to protect him. And she's like, "No, I can help."
Yeah. And what we're about to see is not the Beverly Crusher you remember. This is a older, wiser, and more badass Beverly Crusher.
Yeah.
She gets out her phaser rifle, and you have
quick thing here. I saw people complaining about a doctor using a phaser rifle. This is Doctors Without Borders, and I guarantee you this: the doctors and Doctors Without Borders have protection. They're not just out in the middle of the Congo with no ways to protect themselves. Okay, come on, it's such a silly thing to complain about.
People may not realize that, but that is true. I mean, we used to when I was in the Navy, we actually used to go on things with doctors who would help people in like the Philippines and different places in the jungle. And they're all armed.
Yeah. One of the most badass people I've ever met in real life was a medic that I was detached with in the military. And I remember doing Bradley training with him, and he shows up, and you would not have guessed this guy was a medic. First off, he's all sleeved up with tattoos. He's dressed in his desert BDUs. He has a custom M16, M4, or whatever. And he is just like an absolute badass. Nice guy. Badass. When I figured out he was a medic, he goes, "Oh, well, I mean, I'm here to help people, but I don't want to die." He made it very clear. And I did Bradley training with this guy, and he was an outstanding soldier. So I don't know.
Right.
So someone's coming on the ship. Someone did an unauthorized docking. I got to tell you right now, I would definitely not allow any kind of docking, unauthorized or authorized. And I know this is a sci-fi trope, but I don't understand why anyone can dock to a ship.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you have a docking ring usually.
Right.
Maybe they should have figured out how to like stop people from docking, but you have to have conflict. You can't make it so that they can protect themselves from all things.
You know what I mean? This is like my general problem in sci-fi. I feel like someone in the future needs to invent an anti-docking measure.
And well, then they'll just tractor beam you. So whatever.
I get that. I mean, problem solved. Like literally, just like someone throw up like a lock on the docking mechanism.
Right.
So unauthorized docking, and these guys, these bird creatures come aboard.
Not indicative of anything prior in Star Trek that I could find. And
we looked hard.
And so I think the masking, it definitely plays into what we find out in the future. So
yeah, the thing is too, it's so difficult to find like specific races in Star Trek in a series that has, thousands of on-screen races. It's really difficult. Like in the trailer, and you'll see here in this episode when the Bozeman whistle is played by that person who was clearly he was humanoid, but not a human. I looked everywhere to figure out what race that person was because I remember seeing it, but I couldn't remember the name. And dude, I think I burned through like 5 pages of Star Trek wikis trying to find this one race, and I just gave up.
Yeah, and these are bird-like looking faces, and that will be indicative of what we find out here at the end. Well, it won't be explained for another episode, but
right. All right, and Beverly's badass. She's she kills one of them, and she does get shot because, of course. Although I love the way her phaser takes that dude out.
Dude, she disintegrated him. She's like, no, don't set phase to stun. We set it to you're fried.
This is actually an upvote for me because so she hits the steam thing, and then she uses it to sort of get behind him and come out swinging, which is really smart.
Yeah. It's tactical, So it does show that she's obviously learned some things. I mean, she was always a Starfleet officer, and they obviously have to have tactical training, even if you're a doctor. I mean, I think there's a time when she never took the bridge, but Deanna Troi took the bridge, and they talk about how she was trained, even though she was a counselor, with being able to take command if necessary. So, I mean, she's obviously learned this somewhere, and obviously over the last 20 years, she's honed these talents on the Borderlands.
Yeah, and this right here. So she disables him, and then zero qualms. Dispassionately dispatches him.
And at the end of this episode, there's a very good explanation as to why. We'll save it. Let's remember to go back and mention this moment when we find out the thing we find out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set phasers to barbecue burn.
Yeah. Set phasers to teppanyaki.
Dispassionate.
Yeah. People are complaining. I was like, why would she be killing my? Yeah. There's a reason.
I'm going to upvote on that one, by the way.
Okay.
Because of that reason, which we'll revisit at the end.
Yeah, I think I might vote too. I hope that our upvotes and downvotes aren't just like 100% the same across the board here. So far, they are.
I mean, it's either it's hard not to say what's good and bad, but I mean, it's not hard to say what's good and bad. It's hard to say what you like versus what I like and whether we'll like it at the same time.
Sure. Yeah. So Beverly is shot. She's bleeding out all over the console. She tells the Elios to prepare a transmission and to go to warp, basically. And that's how she gets away.
But we hear what she does. She calls out to, she basically sends a subspace message to Admiral Picard. And that's when they jump. And she does look like she gets away from the bad guys.
Yeah, she gets away. Can I, let me take this off mute here. You guys need to hear this music real quick, okay? And this might hurt. I hope this doesn't get us claimed.
Send a transmission. Subspace frequency myriad codec.
System prepared to transmit.
I'm just going to stop for a second.
You'll have to you'll have to get to the point. Yeah. I was going to say.
State your recipient.
8 seconds, sorry.
Yeah.
This message is for Admiral Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, that music. the music is so good.
Got to tell you, this is just a whetting of the appetite. What you're seeing with these ships right now, and how well this is done and made. Huge shout out, Dave. I don't know if you're watching this, Dave Blass. You and your production team, dude, you guys killed it this season. Beautiful. Yeah. A lot of these ships look like models, bro.
God, we gotta get Dave Blass on the show, man. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we gotta do it, bro.
We'll reach out to him.
Yeah. Yeah. So she warps out, and then this title screen comes in, bro. It's so beautiful. Listen to the music. Listen to the music.
We're
Part
back.
1.
We're back.
The next generation.
That's what this.
Upvote.
Yeah, definitely an upvote for me. The music has been missing for the last couple of seasons of Picard. I know they tried to do something different. The composer that they used has done good stuff in the past, but it just didn't work. It sounded foreign. It didn't sound like Star Trek. I don't know why they're always trying to create the wheel.
Yeah.
Gary said something he was talking about The Mandalorian, and you've also talked about this, that the music in Star Wars, is not good. Why are they not channeling their inner John Williams when they're creating, when they're making music for these shows?
Right.
That's what they did here. They actually took, Terry went in when they did the music, and they channeled their inner, Jerry Goldsmith and all the different great composers. They channeled the good Star Trek music and brought it to us.
It's not just a copy and paste. They didn't just go get the music and plug it in, because that was my biggest complaint for The Mandalorian. I'm like, look, you don't even have to recreate it. Just go get the Star Wars music. You're allowed to use it. Just get it and put it in your show. I don't understand why you're not. And in Picard season 1 and 2. Where's the Star Trek music? And then toward the end of season 2, there was some of the First Contact flair, but it was actually disappointing because we thought that was going to be indicate some kind of
a reveal,
and it was literally just used to show a bar fading away. We were so confused.
Right.
So they're finally using the right music, but it's not just. Again, they didn't just go into the folder called the First Contact music or whatever and paste it in there. It's been recreated, and it's been
recomposed.
It's been recomposed. Shane, who has watched First Contact dozens of times, he knows the music well. It's one of our favorite tracks. He was like, "Brian, is that the TNG? Is that the First Contact music at the end?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." He goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I'm positive," but I went to go back and listen to it, and I'm like, you know what? It is, but it's been elevated, and I'm not sure how you elevate something that was already so damn epic, but it was elevated.
And the important thing is there's the familiarity,
right?
That gives you the feeling of something that you once felt, which is the key to creating these types of feelings and situations. The music is one of the best parts of Picard season 3. I mean, everything's great, but when you add on wait till we get to the end credits.
Oh, the end credits are so epic. So yes,
the music's so gorgeous.
Again, so we opened up the episode with "In the 25th Century," right? In that blocky Star Trek Next Generation font, right? But there's two TNG fonts, and then the second TNG font is this italicized one right here. And so in the very first 6 minutes, he manages to utilize the music of TNG and all the opening credits of TNG. That's very well done. And then just another subtle dig. Ready? Part 1, The Next Generation. Boom. Are you ready? Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
Okay. I
am ready.
All right. And then we're opening. So now we're back at Chateau Picard with a hot older chick, hot Laris.
Laris, yeah.
I know people don't like this character, but I still think she's fine.
Well, she's, here's the thing. She's extraordinarily attractive for an older lady. And that's good because we want Picard to be with hot ladies.
If only she was green, though.
Oh, stop it.
Hashtag green grannies, y'all. I know there's more of us freaks out there. Hashtag green grannies.
There's like one of them right there. So they're looking at a painting of the Enterprise D, when we come in. I've heard some reviews that complain about this, oh, they just want to fans, fan memories, and they want these member berries for the sake of member berries.
Roddenberries
for the sake of I don't even want to, you know what though? I don't want to insult Roddenberry with the BS member berry.
Okay,
comment.
So a good member berry will be a Roddenberry.
And
a
right.
bad member berry will be a member berry.
Or at least the way you're talking about it, because I do believe this is a Roddenberry. Okay, so there's a purpose that this painting is being shown to us right now. If you don't have, if you're a reviewer and you talked crap about this, if you don't have the foresight to look forward, because you got to see at least 6 episodes, then you're an idiot. And I hate to call people an idiot.
I mean, frankly speaking, either you're an idiot or you're disingenuous.
Or disingenuous, yeah, right. Or like you're lying. Because if you see this now and you don't tie it to later on in the show and see that there's a purpose for this, and then you say there is no purpose, then yeah, I think you're lying. So, and you probably have an agenda. So,
right. Or maybe it's possible they're like watching it while they're playing video games and they didn't see.
I think it's impossible to not see the purpose of this. It's impossible to not know what this, if you've seen it, and maybe they didn't, maybe they only saw a short bit of it and they did their review without watching the whole thing. Maybe that's the case, but in that case, then you can't be trusted because you're lazy.
You're not good at your job. Yeah. Well, yeah. So just to be clear, the very first episode, a lot of what you're seeing in the first episode is a setup. It's not just a setup to set up the story, but it's setting up things throughout the entire season. And I gotta tell you, when the season's done, going back to these moments, and we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to come back and show all the intricate connections and setups that happened in this first episode. The reason why a lot of people like this that didn't like Trek before, or didn't like the new Trek before, like Dave, Robert, Gary, us, and many others, is because you're seeing that detailed connection to not only the past, but in the story writing. It's a good story. If this wasn't even Star Trek, the story, the writing is so cleverly done. It's so well put together. And this is right here is the setup for something that's going to happen in 6 episodes. All right.
Okay. I wasn't going to go that far, but okay.
Sorry. My bad.
But yeah, so, and that painting was, and as somebody pointed out over here in the chat, that painting was in his ready room on the Enterprise D.
Right.
And we learned something interesting here. We learned for the first time, we've never really heard this before. We learned that the Enterprise D was Picard's favorite ship.
Oh, it better be.
We've always kind of assumed that it was, but
right.
He's been on other ships. But here he actually says, it wasn't my first, but it was my favorite.
Right. Good on you. So he wants to get rid of it and give it to Geordi, because he's going on a trip with Loris.
Yes, and we learned that Geordi is running the Fleet Museum. This is where we first learned this.
Yes, he's running the Fleet Museum. Now it's funny because Loris tells some guy, the random guy in the background, to go pack it up and send it to Geordi, and she's like, "Don't you dare."
I love that. Yeah, see, Picard didn't hear her say it. I love it. And I think that shows a real nice moment here, even though we're never going to see Loris again after this. There's a nice moment here because Loris is obviously cares about Picard deeply, cares about what he cares about. And so this isn't just a throwaway thing that happens. There's something immediate and intense here that matters. And even though this did come from the first 2 seasons of Picard, I think it's the one element that actually kind of makes sense. And it really shows where Picard's priorities lie when we see what's about to happen.
Yeah. This entire season there's only 2 characters from the previous 2 seasons of Picard in this show.
3.
I'm sorry. I guess 3, but 2 that aren't legacy characters. So 2 new characters from the last 2 seasons that are in this show. That's Laris and Raffi. Somehow you end up liking characters that you thoroughly disliked before. And this little interaction made me think like, oh man, Laris was sort of cool. And I'm like, wait, no, I didn't like this character before. Why do I like her
I didn't
now?
dislike her, but you know,
I
she didn't play
dislike,
much of a part.
I thought she was like the whole Romulan spy angle for me for season.
Oh, well, yeah.
So dumb.
I didn't see her as Laris though. I saw that character as a bastardization because they had to somehow put her into the season because they paid her.
Oh, that's right.
And they reused her.
So they made her. Yeah, they made her one of the travelers. Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah. Thanks for ruining the whole traveler thing.
Thanks for ruining one of the biggest mysteries of all time for 70 years of Star Trek Picard season 2. It's you ruined. It was one of the biggest mysteries we've been. Trekkies have been discussing this topic for like 50 years.
Yeah. And it's Wesley Crusher.
And it's and at the end of it's so disrespectful. And you made it Wesley Crusher. It's like, how can we not only ruin it for him, but then stick the knife in and move it around a little bit? Oh, I know. Bring in Will Wheaton.
What's sad is I don't, you say that, right? But that's not what they did. Like, this is the crappy thing about it. We all think that they went, oh, this is how we can cut, stab fans right in the back. That's not what they're trying to do. They actually sit around and go, wow, this would be really cool. Won't the fans love this?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the blindness that
fans
happened.
love Wesley Crusher.
They're like, oh, the fans are going to love that we took the Traveler and we made them, this species that we didn't know what they were from the original series. Oh my God, they're going to love that. Guess what? We didn't love it. We hated it. And the reason why is because you didn't have anybody in the room that knew what we liked.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's like you Googled top 10 episodes of the Star Trek: The Next Generation, and you went I would not be surprised if they used one of the top 10 Star Trek episodes off YouTube to sort of figure out what fans wanted for a show.
Right. And shame on Akiva Goldsman. I mean, Akiva, dude, you are a TOS fan. Akiva Goldsman is a Star Trek fan. Mm-hmm. The problem is he just, even though he loves Star Trek, sometimes when you have somebody make Star Trek who loves it a lot, they want to make it like they like it.
Yeah, they want to make it like theirs. Like, oh, I really like this character.
Yeah. Which is what Brian Fuller did with Discovery. Like, I'm going to make it like I like Star Trek. But you're fooled because the reason you like Star Trek was because the guy who made it told you what to believe and made you like it. You bastardizing it and making what you want it makes it something other than Star Trek. And you got to stick to the lines,
Yeah, and the writing has to be good. And frankly speaking, telling the story of the Travelers is fine if the writing was good, but I feel like the Wesley Crusher connection is just lazy. It's not even interesting.
Well, he probably thought it would be cool, and you were just wrong about it. And I mean, Patrick Stewart is just as responsible for the failure of seasons 1 and 2 as the writers and anybody else. I mean, he hamstrung them into doing the series as essentially an 80-year-old Patrick Stewart and not Jean-Luc Picard.
Well,
I mean, that's who we saw the first. You think we saw Jean-Luc Picard the first 2 seasons?
No,
we didn't.
It was Patrick Stewart.
It was Patrick Stewart
in Picard's costume.
Right. It was Terry Matalas who convinced him
to be Picard. Right. And in this season, though, we get Picard. It's 100% Picard.
Right. And then now
this season,
Picard's back.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. He's old and the dude's in his 80s. If I'm doing this in my 80s, I mean, shout out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If we're still live streaming in our 80s and I still see Yorkshire Geek and Archmage Frey in the chat, I think we're making some mistakes, boys.
Well, if I can get from the bed to the toilet when I'm by his age, then we're winning.
That's true. That's true. All right. So
really cool moments here.
He's taken off basically to be with Laris on Romulus.
Well, it's not Romulus. It is the Romulan Empire, but they're actually going to. Oh, I lost my thing here. He's going to Chaltok 4 is where they're going. And she's going to be running security while he's going to be writing his memoirs.
I see. Yeah. That sounds like Like he's doing it for her, right?
Well, yeah, he is. I mean, it's obvious that, you know, he's talked himself into the fact that, you know, because he says here, I don't need a legacy. But at the same time, he's looking at, it's funny, on his desk is like a model of the Enterprise D.
Right.
Right. And then there's also a magnifying glass. You know, I don't know if you want to go back and show it, but there's a magnifying glass he's turning over in his hand. And obviously, Iconian archaeology, right? So he would be using a mic, you know, and then also he picks up the Resican flute from the Inner Light.
He does.
I mean, it's like, okay, you can call this like fan service if you want, and like pointless member berries, not Roddenberries. But here's what I'll tell you: shut the hell up. I want those things.
Yeah, here's the deal.
Like, I want them
on my desk. Okay, right. If you're a fan of like the podcast, like, is our Stargate book a member berry? Is my Nerdrotic mug a member berry? You know, is my Terry Trek hat back here? Is that a member berry? Right? Is the podcasting on Word thing? Is that a member berry? Like,
it'd be cool if you like pulled a sex toy out right now and never mind.
Is this dildo? I mean, here's the deal. It's like those aren't member berries. Like, people that have a desk, they usually keep the things that remind them of either things they loved or past wins or even past losses sometimes on their desk. That's the
most important things in their life are on their desk.
And the Resican flute is so important. He spent an entire lifetime. He spent a lifetime. This man has lived 2 lifetimes. And one of those lifetimes was that flute.
Yeah.
Imagine spending 70 years in one life. And then when you die, snapping back into a whole nother life and being like, oh, that's right. That wasn't my life. I mean, bro,
crazy.
The Inner Light is it's got to be one of the greatest episodes of television ever made. And,
I think so.
And if you don't have the flute on your desk, then the criticism should be, why not? Sorry.
Okay. So yeah. So that's the whole point. So you get a little bit of East, you know, some of the Roddenberries there. There's a storm over Chateau Picard, which I thought was interesting that they chose to do a storm over Chateau Picard. You see some lightning in the distance and some thunder because it foreshadows what's about to happen.
What's about to come. Do it in the trailer voice.
It foreshadows what's about to come.
We need to get
as he's writing a note, which we do learn that note he was writing was to Geordi, actually. It doesn't say it, but I think we learned that.
Enjoy this painting, Geordi.
That Loris won't let me send.
Right. Every time he's sitting there with wine, in my mind, I'm like, I wish I had a glass of wine right now. It's like really good marketing. I don't know why.
You can, by the way, just have one.
Yeah, but I didn't bring my stuff in here. All right, so he's hearing chirping. All right, I can't do the sound effect.
Good sound effect, thanks.
And he opens up a crate, and it's his old captain's uniform, the original uniform he wore on TNG, and his badge in a little leather pouch, and it's beeping, and that's the original badge. And now, here's the deal: is that a Roddenberry or a memberberry?
Well, it's critical to the story, so it's a damn Roddenberry.
It's a damn Roddenberry, and that's why it's getting the damn Roddenberry upvote. And you know what? We're gonna change our upvotes now. Okay, a good upvote is a Roddenberry, and a bad upvote is a memberberry.
You wouldn't know that from the people reviewing it who said this is an obvious fan service. Well, obviously, it's key to the story.
But
so
how is it a fan service?
Can it be both?
They watched the same thing we watched.
Because they don't want it to be good. They're cultists from the cult of that guy we're not going to talk about in this review right now. But and they just want to burn it to the ground. So let's just enjoy
odd, though,
it.
because there's a reason why it's this communicator. When she says the codec to use, it has to be this communicator. It's a reason why this all makes total sense, and it's actually epic in the way it's done. I don't know.
All ties in.
All right, communicator badge belonging to John.
I love this.
Yeah, the communication back and forth with the computer was actually pretty funny.
I want to upvote that because it was so, it's like, I know what a codec is. The dialogue is so great in this all the way through. It's funny. You've never laughed as much as you're going to laugh in this show. You've never all the emotions you're going to feel going through this, you just really never felt them as much as you're going to feel them as you go through the entire series.
Yes, I know what a codec is. It's almost like the computer was about to do that thing, that exposition thing that assumes that the fans are just, mentally challenged monkeys and don't understand anything. And he's like, stop, no, I understand. Stop. Shh.
Right. Because we would have complained about that. Like, imagine if the computer had explained it and Picard was like, okay. We'd be like, well, that's bullshit, because we know Picard knows what a codec is. Right. Why would he sit there and say, now that's what they would have done in the first 2 seasons of Picard.
Right. Yeah. How does the 80-year-old, he's a captain, an admiral, in the future not know what a codec is when us in 2023 know what a codec is?
Right. And so then it would have been a downvote, and we would have been saying, come on, writers, you can do better. Well, in the hands of the masterful Terry Matalas and his crew, Chris and all the other folks over there, they did a wonderful job. They made sure they didn't treat us like idiots. We finally get to see Star Trek where they don't treat us like they don't like us or that we're stupid.
Right.
And that's really great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So he gets a message from Beverly, and it's a recorded message.
So the really cool things, like he hears things like, she says Hellbird, and then she says don't trust Starfleet, or no Starfleet is what she says, and I can't what the other word was.
Don't trust anyone, and
don't trust
Jean-Luc,
anyone. Right.
No Starfleet.
And at first, my first thought is, potential downvote here, even though it's not, because I know potential downvote is like, oh God, I don't want any more. There's a bad person at Starfleet that's trying to destroy Starfleet from the inside.
Yeah, because that's getting tired.
I hate that. That's the one thing that I hate about new Star Trek, is that Starfleet is its own worst enemy.
Starfleet's so incompetent that it's so corrupt that you can't trust it. Because you know why? When they were writing Discovery and Picard season 1 and 2, at that time, there was the writers having very strong political beliefs, were living in a country that was at the time being ruled or administered by the opposing party.
Yes, exactly. And it was political. It was obviously political. Now, what's cool, guys, is that we can just tell you, we won't tell you what the spoiler is or anything like this, but we can tell you is that what eventually ends up happening isn't because Starfleet is corrupt or bad. And I think it's fair to let you guys know that. And I don't think it gives anything away, but we aren't going to tear Starfleet down from the inside out in Picard season 3.
Starfleet is one of the heroes here.
Right.
Yeah. Starfleet, this is Starfleet, that we recognize. This is not sheer hubris.
You know what's funny is I could actually, nice, well said, by the way. What's funny is I could mention something that happened in Star Trek from the past. Right now, all I could say is what it is, like the episode of the movie.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And if I said it, it would completely give away the rest of the series.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Isn't that funny that guys, there is, I'm not going to say what it is. You can go back through Star Trek, all the episodes and the movies. There is something out there that would give away exactly everything that's to come. At least the premise of the entire thing.
Premise, yeah. And you know what's wild is there was a trailer, and I think I can say this, right? The trailer.
I don't know. Because what I said was really dangerous. So
yeah.
Good luck.
Well, okay. So Terry put a trailer out that Terry cut right before. It's on Paramount Plus. You can go watch it. And it's like, it was like last week, sort of like getting prepared to watch this season of Picard.
Right.
And there's so many clips in there.
But it only makes sense if you've seen the whole thing.
Right. The clips just look like random clips. But once you've seen the entire thing, you go back and watch that, and you're like, oh my God.
Same thing with the credits.
Yeah. Same thing with the credits. Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You're
going to appreciate this show so much more after it's over.
Yeah.
Like after it's over, you're going to appreciate it way more than you will as you're going through it.
He hid so much in plain sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's pretty good. All right. So he's talking to Loris, and
I like to call this the breakup scene.
This is the breakup scene because he's like, no, you clearly have to go after her, you idiot. He's like,
Yeah, so she gives him, she tells him,
maybe I'll let her figure out her own problems. She's like, no.
no. So obviously she called you, she needs you. He's like trying to downplay it. He's like, well, I'll only be gone for a couple of days. And she's like, well, maybe it'll take a little longer than that.
Right. Imagine though if I got a call from like my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, honey, ex-girlfriend called. Yeah,
there was a little bit of that jealousy in here too. You saw that, right?
My wife would not be like like she's like her it's not paranoia or fear, it's genuine. You have to go help her. My wife would be like, screw that chick. She's better figure out her own problems.
Right. But there's a moment where she's like, didn't you guys like once have like a relationship or a love affair or something? It was like, oh yes, long
yes.
And
Earl Grey hot.
But you can tell that she lets him go, and then when he says, it'll be a couple days, she says maybe it'll be a little longer. The look on her face, I don't know if you can pause it on here, but is of resignation.
Mm-hmm.
She is resigned to the fact that the relationship has just ended.
Right. No, yeah, this actress, it's weird. The actors and actresses that I so heavily criticized in the first and second season of Picard, seeing these actors play the same roles, but now with good writing, is sort of wild.
Yeah.
And you'll see that with Michelle Hurd, like, man, so she's actually a good actress. And like, so that means that she was given really poor dialogue and probably poor direction in the first and second seasons, because she overplayed that stuff so crazily, right?
Right.
But she doesn't do it here.
Yeah. She's much more capable in this season.
Yeah, it's wild. And same with Lawrence. Like, I didn't really have very much of an opinion about her per se, but she was just didn't need to be there. But like this scene, she needs to be there. She is the one who's like expressing to Picard how important it is that he and she's not even she's completely giving a buy off, but also sort of accepting the fact that this is the last time we see Lars.
And
that's true. It is, as far as I know, right? Yeah.
It is. Well, it is the last time. I mean, everybody said it. Like, I think even everybody said it. Like, this is her final scene. And we also reported that she only shot for, I think, 2 days on season 3. And we reported that, I think at the end of season 2.
Right.
So, it's no big surprise.
Right. Dost my eyes deceive me? Are we back at 10 Forward Bar? We are.
But Guinan's not there. This is Guinan's bar.
But Guinan's not there. Guinan does not make an appearance.
No Guinan, which is a good thing, I think.
Now, this framing is really special. So this is Captain Riker. And he's sitting at the bar.
It is.
And behind him is what? Frontier Day. Celebrating 250th anniversary of Starfleet.
We did a deep dive on this one, guys. So we stopped it here, paused it, and said, okay, what year are we in? Let's go back 250 years, because there is no mention of a Frontier Day in all of Star Trek lore, right? There's not really, I think there's a Starfleet Day maybe or something like that, but there's no Frontier Day.
Right.
So we went back and we looked, and if you take the 250 years away from 2403, you actually get the year 2153.
Mm-hmm.
Now in 2153, that's essentially the second season of Enterprise. And we get, like regeneration. That's the year like the Borg, woke up in the Arctic on Earth. And we get that whole episode where it really created this wonderful Borg theory that we did a video on a while back.
Yes, it's one of my favorite all-time theories on sort of like, and this is another nod, the secret reboot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's funny how our theory about how at that time was when the timelines divulged and we got this new timeline we're in right now.
Yeah, that First Contact created a new timeline that Enterprise exists in.
Right. So in the movie First Contact, when Picard and company went back to save the world, and using time travel, some Borg got left in the Arctic, And then time continued as normally up
Right.
until they found the Borg in that season of Enterprise, and that's when time started to split off.
Because Borg technology was left behind on Enterprise.
Right, but see,
And they would have had access to that.
time on Earth went the exact same way up until they found it. So the program, the Starfleet was started, the program for starships were started. Everything was started the same way. So time didn't start to split off until we found the Borg technology we shouldn't have found in the Arctic because Picard left trash on Earth.
Right.
That's
wouldn't it be cool? I mean,
that's wild.
This is not the case, but wouldn't it be cool if we've never heard of Frontier Day before? Is because it's part of the secret reboot, and it didn't actually happen until that event took place.
It's hilarious that like the 50th year anniversary. It hits right when we said that the timelines were gonna split.
Right. Now that's so FYI, that's not what it is.
Go watch video though. I'll put the link in the description of this.
Yeah.
Go watch the secret reboot. It's epic. It's one of our favorite ever all-time videos.
We love, the theory and it's fun and everything, but we asked Terry specifically what the 250 years was. And it actually coincides with the creation of NX-01, which was the first Starfleet, first Enterprise.
Right. First Enterprise from Enterprise.
So that's what the 250 years commemorates. So it's not our secret reboot. Even it's fun, but that's not the
Imagine if Terry was like, yeah, I saw this video online a while back.
That would have been so cool and be like, wait a sec, that was our video.
Yeah. So I would have died there of a stroke and I would have had a smile on my face.
Right.
If that would have happened. Yeah.
Okay. So as we go forward
at
here.
The bar, I love this. So there's all these little like ship models, right?
Yeah, the little tiny trinkets.
Right. They're like little 3D printed or metal cast ships.
And of various ships, yeah.
Yeah, various ships. He asked, why is there so many Enterprise Ds? Because I guess the Enterprise D is there. And he goes, oh, the fat ones? No one wants those.
It's because nobody wants those. And then he's got this, he kind of chuckles and it's like, it was just a really funny moment, because I just love all this, like,
you better leave the
Enterprise D dangling they're doing.
Yeah. And this, guys, this is the setup. This is not a member berry. It's a Roddenberry. This is a setup for the story. It's important. It's important. Like even like that joke is being played as a joke, but it actually ties into the story.
Right. Now, yeah, because a lot of times you're just going to get the member berry and there's no point. You're like, well, what? Well, okay, it was cool, but it had nothing to do with the story. There's so many plot holes in shows. I don't feel like there's any plot holes in this show. Right. Just none that I recognize.
So at the end of the series, we're going to do something called, I believe it's called a connect. I have to look it up. But there's an actual word for this they use in college, where in a story you can hyperlink every connection through the story to other stories. And that's how you sort of ensure that there's no leaks, right? No plot holes.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll go through this and we will just take and we'll make lines to show how everything is so linked and so connected and foreshadowed.
Or you can just pay attention to your writing and do it correctly, which is what I...
No, I know.
When you write something, if you've left a plot hole.
I know. What I'm saying is at the end of this, we show everyone all the connections and how crazy hyperlinked this entire story is.
Right.
From episode 1 to episode 10. All right, and Picard and Riker are back together.
It's great seeing them together, man. And they immediately have this rapport that's just, that's just so familiar. It shows they've known each other for years. They have a friendship. They have a respect for each other. It just shows immediately.
Riker looks so good, bro. Jonathan Frakes clearly lost weight for this.
He did, yeah. Can we call him a granddaddy?
You just stepped on my joke. I was going to make that joke right
now. Were you really?
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah. I was literally, it was coming out of my mouth and you killed it for me.
We have daddies. Can he be a granddaddy?
So he's the granddaddy of daddies. Although and I'm glad they didn't do this, but when he walked to that bar, had he flipped his leg over a chair?
Oh shit! No, I don't want that. I don't want.
Had he done that though?
No.
Had he done that, I would
Would
have
have been too much.
I would have passed out from all the blood that would have rushed to my nethers.
It would have been too much.
It would have been too much. Of course, a man in his 70s or 60s or whatever not going to do that. So his family is back on Rigel 5. And Picard's like, "Hey, sorry to take away from your family." And we do get something here. Shane, you want to explain this?
We learned that he's estranged from his family, from his wife, from Deanna, from Troy, and his daughter. It's already been given away, and we know about it. And it does come into the reason for this is, since it's already been given away, is that he lost his son, and he's struggling to deal with that. So we're going to learn more about that. But it's been said on so many shows so far. I don't think we're doing any damage by also adding to that.
Right. Yeah, he lost his son. So what we did say, someone was like, "Do you need to watch Picard seasons 1 and 2 to enjoy this season?" No, but there are 2 things you need to know. What are those 2 things, Shane?
Well, you need to know that Riker lost a son, and you need to know that Raffi was a drug addict at one point.
Right. That's it.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't.
And you kind of need to know that 7 of 9 got a Starfleet field commission at the end of season 2.
I don't think you need to know that, actually.
Well, you kind of wonder how she. I mean, they do kind of tell you, but like she's all of a sudden boom in Starfleet. So you're like, whoa, wait, what? You know, they don't go out of their way to explain that. I mean, they do explain it.
They do explain it, yeah.
But it takes some time, and so for a while, you'd be just like, what is she doing here?
Yeah. You know? So knowing that she got a field commission, knowing that Raffi dealt with addiction issues, and that Riker lost his son, like those 3 things is pretty much all you need to know. And I would even argue that, like, yes, you need to know Raffi had addiction issues, but I feel like they also spell it out pretty clearly in the season.
They do, but they don't give it context. I mean,
they don't give it context, though.
They do give it context. You're right. They didn't have to. You're right. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't need to know, because there's that moment.
They give her a backstory in the show.
There's actually a clear moment. Yeah. All right.
You're right.
So,
although that scene that we're talking about does play back to season 1 when she goes to visit her son. Remember?
Oh yeah,
it does play into that. You know, it does play into that storyline from that point.
So knowing that she was an addict and estranged is, I guess, sort of important.
Yeah, an addict, and she was estranged from her child.
Yeah, for me,
and her grandchild.
I didn't really care. I actually, and we can't talk about this now, but I loved the decision she made there, because that is not the decision that New Trek would have made, but it is the decision Legacy Trek would have made.
Yes, when we get there, let's really highlight that moment to show a real difference in the 2. That really does give a good delineation of classic Star Trek decisions and like the new Star. Good point, Brian. Great catch.
All right. So he's like, listen, Picard's like, listen, Riker, here's the story, and he basically breaks down the message from Beverly, and he says, but this word, Hellbird.
Hellbird, yes.
This is why it's so important to come to your friends and not random people.
Well, yeah.
Finally, you came to your friends that you've known and worked with and fought alongside for 30 years, and not some random person that you knew at the academy for a day or 2. Because when he does say Hellbird, guess what? Guess who knows what that is, Shane?
Yep, Riker knows what that is.
Riker knows, because they came up with it when he was Locutus.
You know, they don't explain it as plainly as we understand it. So the way he explains it here is that there was a computer virus on the Enterprise while Picard was Locutus. And they have this moment where he's like, oh, Locutus, right? He actually tells him, he doesn't tell him you're Locutus when you were incapacitated, right? So then he's, oh, Locutus. And then he said, basically the virus that was in their system added 3 to every navigational digit. What you have to infer from this is that they came up with the code Hellbird so that Locutus wouldn't be able to know what they were doing. But I don't think they explain that very clearly here.
Yeah. Well,
so I would actually give that a downvote. So,
there's one thing though. I feel like it also shows that Beverly knows that if Picard gets the message, he's going to go to his friends. Right? Again, we lost Shane real quick. But I'm assuming that that's what that means. That Beverly knows that because she sent the message to Picard, that Picard is going to go to his friends, and that's why saying the word Hellbird was really important. I'm assuming. So that's very interesting too. So it adds a 3 to every digit, gives you his new coordinates, and shows you. So he comes up with the new coordinates, right? And I'm just gonna dip here. Hopefully, when Shane comes back, I'll be able to hear him. It gives him new coordinates, and it's interesting because when you use that method, it gives the location as to where Beverly is. And now, because of this information that he could have only have gotten by going to Riker or one of the other original cast members, he figures out where Beverly is. So I think the downvote from Shane was warranted because it was sort of like a very quick explanation as to why contacting Riker was important. But I think I'm okay with it too. I'm okay with using that explanation, in my opinion. Let me see if Shane's back. Sorry, guys, 1 second. So we use this software called Ninja, and for some reason, everyone else loves it, but Shane's computer has a hard time with it. It looks good though. Okay. So let's look at chats while he's going through that, because there are some chats here. Here we go. Going back to the top of the chats. Oh, you're back. Welcome.
I was, I don't know if you see me yet, but
I'm about to. Hold up. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
I was attacked by ninjas. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Every time that happens, I just want you to know a ninja attacked me.
Yeah, I already told them that's what the software is called.
It's funny because this is really the best software to give you guys the best look, like the best view of me, because Brian and I are separate.
With zero latency, too.
Yeah. So it's really the best. But the problem is if you stream for over an hour and a half, it just freezes my computer. So
it's specific to his computer. We are going to solve this problem. I'm gonna get him set up with Chuck over at the Nerd Herd. And
I think it would be anybody's computer. I think it's probably I'm the only one who streams for that long.
No. Mike, Mexican Iron Man, used the same software for like that 4-hour stream we did.
Oh, that's true. No, good point. Yeah, it's me.
We're gonna get solved, Shane.
It's me.
All right, back to the review and flash.
I don't know what that was.
When I'm doing the clip, I can know what to cut out because it's like there's a whole cutout section.
Yeah, so I gave it a downvote because
I explained why the downvote happened. Basically what I said was, and I'm talking for you, so I apologize, but what I just told them was, more than likely it's because they rushed through this as like a method on how to get Riker and Picard together.
Well, I thought it was I thought it was like a really cool explanation. And I think that if they would have said, if they would have addressed the fact that, we weren't going to let you get access to our, if they would have directly addressed the fact that they were hiding it from Locutus without kind of just dancing around it gently, I would have preferred that. But I understand why maybe they just don't have a lot of time. And so they tried to make it understandable that, listen, I don't have a lot of downvotes of this show because I love it. But we're going to be honest, and when something doesn't work exactly, we're going to appropriately vote on it. So.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I would also join you in the downvote, except for I want to upvote the fact that Beverly Crusher gave him that information knowing that he would go, or hoping, hopefully, that he would go to one of his...
Well, and you can also upvote the fact that the idea of doing this to explain it and to like tie it into the story is just freaking brilliant.
Oh, it's because once again, this is a hyperlink.
Right. And this is my problem with the upvotes and downvotes of the show. I can literally upvote almost every scene. Like, we haven't been doing it because it just seems wrong, but like literally every time something cool happens, we could just upvote it. It's going to end up with like a score of 20 or something. It's just crazy.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. We also saw the entire season, which means that the upvotes are... That's
a good point.
It's hard. So it's hard. Like, there might be moments we would have downvoted, but knowing the connective tissue makes it like, well, we're not going to downvote that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That makes it hard to do upvotes, downvotes. Why the hell are we doing upvotes, downvotes?
Well,
okay, I got it.
Well, because not everyone has seen it, Shane.
But how do you honestly downvote it?
Well, what we have to do is we have to give it a downvote based on only what we know right now.
All right. Well, I didn't do that earlier, so
I know. I'm just telling you, we have to somehow separate those things as proper journalist.
All right. Well, I would say
journalist.
Then maybe the Starfleet don't trust Starfleet comment would have probably gotten a downvote from me.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a downvote too then.
But now I want an upvote for the whole idea of using Locutus to hide something.
Okay, now you got your upvote back.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So she was terrified, and he asked, "Why did she cut herself off from everyone?" And this is important.
Oh. So we learned that she's cut off. She hasn't seen anybody in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, this is the moment where we learn that. And they don't know why.
Yes. But there's a good reason.
Well, yeah, there is. But I mean, the fact that nobody knows is we learn this at this point.
Now, would we have downvoted that? Why would she have just gone for that? No, I don't think we would have.
No, because we don't know the answer yet.
Right. We would have been like, if the answer is bad, I'm going to retroactively downvote that.
If the answer is bad, this is going to get a downvote later. Right. That's what we would have said.
Right. So we need to find a ship, and we can't charter one. This is great. Aren't we a little overdue for an adventure? And so Riker has an idea on how they can get a ship.
And he's like, I got a ship. Now there's a scene that when you go forward, you kind of missed, but they're being eavesdropped on. Right
here
there.
it is, right here.
He's listening to them. I don't know how the hell he heard all that or how he knows, but somehow he knows enough at least to follow them, I guess.
Dun, dun, dun. And he drops the fat Enterprise D into a glass of something.
I think that was probably a little bit unnecessarily over the top, but it's not bad enough to downvote. It's a little bit mustache twirly.
Yeah, or it's a hyperlink. Or it's a hyperlink.
I don't know. I mean, it is obviously foreshadowing.
Yes, clearly foreshadowing. Jesus.
But I'm just saying, I don't know if it was necessary.
It wasn't necessary, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at District 6. Who is this hooded figure walking through what is clearly a downtown Los Angeles Alameda and 10th rave every Friday night at 1 a.m.? Sorry, what?
You missed something though at the very beginning of this.
Yeah, this is great. Actually, I can't. My camera.
It's behind it. Can you disappear yourself for a second?
Disappear myself real quick,
so you guys can see it. Oh my gosh, that's Metalis Prime.
So they came up with this. So this is not Terry Metalis being vain. This was not his idea.
But yeah. So yeah, you're right. It wasn't his idea as far as creating it. It was given to him actually way back on Enterprise. They named a planet after him way back on Enterprise.
Right. Again, it's not him in the writing room being like, let's call that planet Metalis Prime. This was set up 20 years ago.
I mean, they chose that planet for this show.
Right, because it's funny, but like this planet was around 20 years ago though.
Yes, so there was a Metalis. There was a planet called Metalis Prime, and it was back from Enterprise. Let's see, it was. How did I end up way the heck up there? Let me go back down here again.
Well, while he's looking that up, it's because Terry Metalis worked on Enterprise.
Right, but I want to give you the story behind it. So it was actually, it's the planet where Dr. Phlox was once nearly overwhelmed by 50 patients in a refugee camp during Enterprise. And I guess, hey, when you're working on a series, why not name a planet after some of the people working there, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So anyway, so they chose that planet, which is a nice nod to, listen, the guy gave his blood, sweat, and tears. I think we can get behind having a planet named after him.
I don't know, but why is this even a complaint?
I didn't say it was, and I don't think, and I'm not sure necessarily anybody did.
But maybe I'm being a little like hyperactive when it comes to like I'm just expecting someone to complain about this stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're the one who said he's not being conceited, so I felt like I needed to defend that.
So she's on Metalis Prime, or it. We don't know what it is yet. It could be anything. It's a hooded figure walking through a downtown Los Angeles rave at 4 a.m.
But
now,
we do know. Go ahead.
This is a downvote for me.
Okay.
Because I hate like the sci-fi trope with the back water planet and the rave, the nonstop rave. I hate it so much. But that's sort of a downvote for all sci-fi for me.
Well, you have to figure out this is the thing you have to figure out. This is the drug underworld. This is the crime and drug underworld, right? That's what this planet essentially seems like it is. Some people complain that, there's not supposed to be drugs in the future and there shouldn't be any crime in the future. Well, unfortunately, TOS really didn't show you that stuff, but TNG had things that were not, obviously.
Remember the security officer, Tasha Yar, how she was raised on a rape planet?
Right. So there's
underbellies of society like that. I don't care how utopian a society gets. There's going to be parts of it that are not where sentient species are. There's always going to be sentient. There's always going to be humans that want to do bad things. Always.
Well, and to be clear, though, the Federation and Starfleet are the utopian ideal, right. Not necessarily all of humanity and all of alien civilization either.
Right.
Which look at the Ferengi. They're not exactly moral.
No.
Maybe their own code of morality.
But I do like the idea of capitalism and all the women are always nude. So I can get behind that.
Right. So anyways, there is an underbelly in this series and there are people that might complain about that. But the reality is that, they already developed it in the first 2 seasons. They couldn't exactly ignore the fact that she's a prior drug person anyways.
I mean, but that is the thing though. Like in the future, just like in the past, there's going to be crime, there's going to be bad people, and there's going to be people that want to escape their bad situations. And that if I've helped a lot of people with addiction problems, and addiction is for most people is just, look, my life sucks. I work a lot and I have I don't have enough to enjoy my life. So this drug allows me to sort of escape that feeling, that emptiness feeling. That's going to exist in 500 years, just like it existed 500 years ago. It's never going to be gone. I'm just sorry, it's not.
Well, I mean, so to be fair, that's your opinion. Okay. But Star Trek is an idealistic future.
Sure.
And I think it's just important to delineate between the difference of the two.
Well, but so you have the Federation and Starfleet.
Right.
The majority of the people in that system are doing great. They're raised in a culture where their achievements, right, their achievements and their character is their currency, not actual currency. So it's much less of a caste system because how good you are at being a fellow human is your wealth. That's your wealth now. That's your value. But in the rest of the universe, that's not the case.
Right. And that's, I mean, TOS really didn't outline that. So TOS definitely was. It seemed like everything was a hill on. It was gold on the hill.
Well,
You're right.
Klingons,
So,
Harry Mudd, these weren't like reputable people.
that's true. That's a good point. There were still unreputable people, but for the most part, Kirk kind of laughs off any sort of, oh, what do you mean? We've left that so long ago.
We've left
Racism
that
and
behind. This is not who we are anymore.
right. So
Why does it matter? His side of his face is black and her side of his face is white.
Right. And we fleshed it more out in TNG. I just feel like this isn't something that people can argue should not exist necessarily in Star Trek's future.
Yeah, but I did downvote it because I hate the whole like party planet, sci-fi trope. We get that a lot.
What else? How else do you do a drug thing?
I don't know. I don't know, but it always
How
looks.
else do you-
But it always looks this way. Like,
But how do you? Okay,
renting the
so I
same
get it.
underworld soundstage?
I hear you. When you have a problem, you got to come up with a solution. So tell me your solution for a drug underworld. What does it look like?
Well, interesting enough, later on in the season, it looks like that. Later on in the season, and I can't.
It's the same place.
But it's it's the same place, same planet, but
Yeah.
completely different vibe.
So different location. So she's just happened to be in like party building or whatever, right?
Right. Like
It's not. You're not saying the whole planet looks like this all the time.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, of course not. Imagine that. Like, the whole planet's just like a downtown rave. A 24/7 downtown rave.
I honestly kind of thought that's what you were saying.
No, I just don't like that trope. Like, we got it. I love Dark Matter, the TV show, but we got a lot of that in Dark Matter too, and that show Killjoys, and it's like
I
a
think
sci-fi.
people-
Battlestar
yeah.
Galactica. A lot of sci-fi does this with the.
Well, what else? I just don't know what else you do. Like later on, it doesn't really give you even though it gives you like a criminal underpinning, but it doesn't make you think drugs and party and fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, later on it
like
makes
this
a lot
does.
more sense.
yeah.
But I'm also trying to judge it by now and not later on. That's the thing about these upvotes and downvotes.
Mm.
I'm not trying to read too much into it. We spent way too much talking about this party planet idea. It was just a simple downvote, Shane. Okay.
No, I wanted to clarify it. I wanted to know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we see something, we disagree a little bit. So I think when we disagree, we should probably hash it out.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's the other thing is something you're going to deal with in this episode, in this show that you may not, that some people aren't going to like. And there's cussing in this show. And
It's not like excessive though.
it's not excessive, but it is. And there's a couple times when it was not planned, like it wasn't written in that way. It was like just an
Right.
actor,
It was ad-libbed.
dropping an F-bomb.
Right.
But the question that is going to come around is, should there be cussing in Star Trek or should there not? Have we evolved past the point of using crude language to describe things, or is it, and I think you can look at it any way you want. It adds a little more reality, or it doesn't fit in with the Star Trek that, I mean, listen, there was no cussing on network television in the 90s, in the 60s, in the there was none of that was going to happen, yo.
Right.
Here's the question. If it was allowed, would they have done it? If you could have had cussing or that sort of language.
Or like
would
modern day
you-
language, right?
Right. Nowadays, your TV shows have loosened some of these restrictions, and especially with streaming now. So I guess you have to look at it in that vein. Personally, me, I don't need cussing. I don't need it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I need. And it does, the fact that they used it doesn't take me away from Star Trek here, but at the same time, I don't need it necessarily either. So
Right. I don't need it too, because I don't want to have to like worry about watching this in front of my kids, or like, what I mean? Like, and I don't want them to
that
hear
is the
language
issue
that they're
for
going to
me.
repeat,
yeah, I would prefer there not to be cussing in Star Trek. Does it sometimes feel a little phony that we're not using emotional expletives appropriately? Like when I'm having a real bad moment, and could I drop an F-bomb and not really care who's around me? Yeah, could happen. So
What do you
it's
mean can't
realistically,
happen? It has happened.
I'm saying around like my kids or something.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in a situation where I don't want it to come out.
Well, look at Battlestar. They invented new words so that they can curse without the network getting mad at them.
I hate that in so many ways, though.
But it makes sense, though. They wanted a gritty sci-fi show, and they couldn't use curse words. Dude,
it's a little cheesy, though.
If Battlestar Galactica was made today for a streaming service, the word frack wouldn't be a thing. They would have just used F-U-C-K.
Right, that's true. So I guess that's the way to look at it. Would I prefer to be able to watch this show with my kids and not be like, I mean, it's already happening today where I'm watching shows and I'm allowing more cuss words than I used to because they just all seem to have it, you know? So, I mean, I would prefer overall if we just stopped using so much colorful language in our family-friendly content.
But to be clear, it's not, I don't think it's excessively used in this show.
No, and the reason why I brought it up is because she uses the word shit here. So that's it. So she says the word shit, not a big bad word, really.
Yeah. Are you shitting me? She used the word shit.
Are you shitting me?
You're shitting me.
I think she said shit.
Okay. So she does say shit here.
Obviously, we don't care on our stream what the family friendly is.
When I clip this, it's gonna be a bunch of bleeps. All right. So she's going to an Orion. I think it's an Orion, right?
It is an Orion, yes.
Yeah, I love
drug dealer.
I love the
like slave trading. The Orions are like just the dirge underbelly of Trek. No matter what Trek show you're watching, like the Orions are just bad.
They're like the Russians.
Well, that's messed up.
Well, no, I'm not talking about Russians, the people. Or I'm talking about like all classic Bond villains and the classic storytelling. The Russians were always the bad guys.
The Klingons were actually the Russians.
Really?
They were. Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, they turned more into the Chang dynasty of Asia,
right?
When the Klingons, in TNG, the movies.
That was funny because it wasn't China more of a threat by the time we got to TNG.
Not really. They weren't a threat yet.
No, they weren't.
Well, no, not until the 2000s.
Okay, so she's trying to get dough, and what she tells this. Go ahead.
They want a cursing poll. Just a heads up.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
It's a good idea, actually.
It's a great idea. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See, in our live
so while
stream,
you're putting it up, I'll explain Raffi.
Go.
So Raffi looks like she's strung out, and she's come to her drug dealer to get drugs. She does a really good job of playing that, and that's probably because her character is familiar with it. As we'll come to learn in this situation, she's there really to get information, and she's actually a part of Starfleet intelligence, and she's there undercover. But the very real struggle of these drugs is impacting her character, and she's having a hard time having to resist not using again. But she does get some really key information here that's important. He does sell her information that says something is going down with the Red Lady. And that's all we really get from this scene. And we'll talk about that. We do get a conclusion to it, but we'll talk about that as we go forward.
Yeah.
Man, 20% of the people have not liked this stream. But yet they're still here. That's cool.
All right, here we go. I put a third option there. So yes, no, sure, but not Star Trek.
Okay.
Right? Because,
I don't know what that means.
So when they curse in Game of Thrones, I'm like, yeah, okay.
But it's not family-friendly content.
That's a great question.
You know what I mean? Like Game of Thrones is not meant to be watched with your children. Is Star Trek meant to be watched with your kids? I sure damn hope so.
Yeah, but my kids are never going to watch it with me.
Well, they're not. My kids don't want to watch it. That's the only. Yeah, you're right. So would I have more of an opinion on it if my kids wanted to watch Star Trek? Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't want to watch it,
bro. What's funny is
Dork Knight's like, we didn't need a third option, Brian.
Look, bro, have you guys ever read The Art of War, Dork Knight?
Just vote on the first two, guys.
You have to give an opponent a way out. And if there are people that are fine with cursing but don't want cursing in Trek, so you have to give them their option.
About cursing in general?
Well, I mean, it sort of is.
It should be a poll about cursing in Star Trek.
I don't know, but isn't it a little disingenuous to be like, I like cursing, but not in this one thing?
Well, no, I want cursing in Star Trek, or I don't want cursing in Star Trek.
Okay, but I feel like it's a little disingenuous to be like, I want cursing in Star Trek, but not Star Wars. No, sorry, I want cursing in Star Wars, but not Star Trek.
We're not asking that question. We're just talking about Star Trek. We're not talking about all of entertainment, right? It's specific to Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but
yeah,
but like, we're not on an island here of Trekkies. Like, we're just not. Like, Star Trek has to be good for everyone, not just. It needs to be start with Trekkies, but in order for it to be successful, it's got to expand past Trekkies, right?
Fuck no.
Yes, it does.
Hell,
get out of here.
Shit, no.
Get out of here. You're full
listen.
of it.
Honestly, I don't care. Listen, I'll be honest. I don't care. Star Trek to me does not apply to everybody. It should only apply to Trekkies. I don't want it to be. This is the problem with new Star Trek.
Well, no, it needs
they're
to start
trying
with
to
Trekkies.
appeal to everyone.
Like what Chris Pine says, start with Trekkies. Like make a good show for Star Trek fans. But if the writing's good, you're gonna get more fans.
Maybe, but if you don't, that's okay. Like if your goal is
I guess
to
it's
the
okay.
entire planet to watch Star Trek, then go make Star Wars.
Well, yeah, they tried that. Star Wars didn't work out.
What I'm trying to say is go make something generic for everybody. Star Trek specific to an audience, an intelligent
And I agree, yeah.
audience who likes the idea of science being used in a hopeful future where humanity it's specific. And I don't care if other people need to like it. Listen, Paramount, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that not everybody on the planet likes Star Trek. But you know what? You got a core, strong audience that will pay you money for good Star Trek.
That's true.
Go make your Tulsa Kings and your all of your Yellowstones. And
Right.
listen, the whole world can love that stuff. You don't have to make Star Trek work for everyone.
That's true.
So don't do that.
But I would argue that if the writing is good, you will pick up new fans regardless.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pick up sci-fi fans and stuff, but stay true to Star Trek and just make good Star Trek.
Right.
Listen.
Yeah. So you're right. It needs to start with Star Trek fans. But what I'm saying is the writing, it can't. If the show is good, then you will get more fans.
Yeah, of course, because there are millions of Star Trek fans on the planet. Right. There were in the 60s, 70s, 80s, millions, because it was good.
There are dozens.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was good, man.
Right. It was good.
Make it good again. They'll come back.
Yeah, but so when they just made Star Trek movies for Star Trek people, the movies bombed.
Well, they spent too much money.
Because they spent a ton of money and the writing wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It was fair. They were like extended, a bit better graphic episodes of TNG. Like I liked First Contact and I liked Generations. I didn't like Nemesis.
Well, the TNG movies are not as good as the TOS movies. I mean, they're just not.
Well,
like Generations is.
You are looking at that through rose-colored glasses because the motion picture is way too long and boring.
Well, no, I'm not saying motion picture, but I mean, like if you say, okay, what are better, TOS movies or TNG movies? Like if you just in general, you say, okay, Star Trek 2, 3, 4.
So 2, 3, and 4
5
are the best. But then after 2, 3, and 4, I would say First Contact.
Generations.
No, I would say First Contact, then Generations.
I don't know. Something's missing. First Contact's fine, but something. Let me tell you, Picard season 3 is better than First Contact.
Oh yeah.
It's the characters are more connected to each other in this show than they are in First Contact.
Yeah, the hyperlinks are real.
Yeah, it's.
I believe that First Contact was, but I do believe that First Contact was a really necessary film because it was like sort of it was attempting to wrap up this storyline that had been left dangled by the series.
That's true. Well, they also wanted to launch Voyager, and this was another way to do that. But Generations to me is an important movie because it's got James T. Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard working together. That was a really important movie for me. I know there's a lot of problems with Generations, but just those two characters being together was a really big deal for me. So anyways, let's move on.
Okay. I don't know how we got so sidetracked.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we were talking about cussing and it just kind of went off the rails.
It's your fault. So
it's an important element to talk about.
So Raffi appears right away that she's, back to her old ways, and she's trying to score drugs from this Orion underbelly criminal. And in reality, she's not. She did score drugs, but she was also trying to score information. And when she has the opportunity to do said drugs, she actually drops him on the ground. And then she picks up her communicator and says, I got some information. I need more time and more money. Boom.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And it was real. I mean, the acting was great there. She showed the struggle. Look at it. I mean, her cheeks are jostling. Like, look at if you let it go for a second, you can see like her face is taut and her cheeks are just kind of, I mean, it's good acting.
Yeah. This is when you realize that Michelle Hurd is actually a good actress. And she was just given she was given a lot of garbage in the last season to work with.
Yeah. When she's not complaining and being a typical trope. Yeah. She's great.
Man, I thought you were going to say something else. I'm like, whoa.
Safe. I kept it safe.
Yeah, good job. A typical trope. Thanks. That's the word. Oh, and this wonderful space station upvoting.
That is an upvote. This is what'd you call them? This is a Roddenberry.
This is a Roddenberry. Oh man, the space station looks so beautiful.
This is a new space dock, by the way. It's reminiscent of like Star Trek 6, Star Trek. Yeah. Star Trek
look
6.
Look at the giant, like, I don't know if you see my cursor, but look at the giant doors opening here. Look at that. That is
and as beautiful as this is, once you get inside, it's even more gorgeous.
It is. It's beautiful. Okay. So you want to explain what's going on here?
I mean, Riker's setting up the whole, like, listen, we're about to do something really bad here. So they're going to trick the captain of the Titan to go to the Riken system so they can get to Beverly. And they're going to come in here and pretend to be doing an inspection.
Doing a surprise inspection. He does say this is a court-martialable offense.
Right. Because of Frontier Day, they're doing an inspection on the ship, supposedly.
Right.
And they just kind of show up.
We could get court-martialed for this. It's great.
I mean, they're both out. What's funny is it's true. They are both out of Starfleet now. Well, I guess Riker is technically still a captain.
He's still a captain, yeah.
Yeah, but Picard is a retired admiral.
And this is where the fun starts, because he's like, "Give me one of those rigid expressions you're famous for," and
he was like,
"There's the look." And he's like, "That's it."
I want an upvote. I upvote this.
Yeah, I'm upvoting this so
exchange.
hard. This is when the Bush and Suntan stuff happens. This is when like the Riker and Picard show starts, and it really gets fun.
Yeah, it just starts to amp up from here. It's really good.
And we saw this a while ago when they were scanning past the Titan, and he says, "Hello, beautiful." There's the Titan.
This is gorgeous, guys. Listen, I can't tell you what this does to my heart. I love this so much. This is TOS movie era starship here. The Neo Constitution class Titan with a saucer, with a round saucer, and that classic TOS Star Trek look and feel for the ship. Brian, what do you think about this? Upvote again, please.
I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna need this is how I feel about it. If we weren't on stream right now, I'd have my pants off.
All right, well, at least you're honest about it.
What's funny is I can't wait to watch what our friends at the Trek Yards when they do like the after show talking about the ships. Mm-hmm. So at this moment, I'm assuming both those guys are going to be orgasmic. But there's a scene in another episode coming up that is like so mind blowing for ship people that I'm fully expecting the main guy on the Trek Yard show just to have like a heart palpitations live on air.
Right. Because
he's so into it,
Yeah.
This is gorgeous, bro. This is absolutely stunning, and it's so like, look at this. This is what Star Trek's supposed to look like.
Well done, Dave Glass and your team. Well done.
And this is like TOS era too. Like you have the space station on the inside with the lights. This is what Star Trek is. This is what it looks like. So far the writing is what Star Trek is, and now we're getting the visuals. This is what Star Trek is supposed to look like, right? Yes, it doesn't look like a copy paste Battlestar Galactica with a shaky cam effect. This is what Star Trek is.
This is what it is, guys. And for everybody who's complaining a little, there's another complaint is about the darkness. So I don't know how to explain this. For a lot of people, they want it to be brighter. They don't like the dark. Everything is movie cinematic now. If you go back to the Star Trek movies, they were darker than the television series. It's the way sets are lit. It's the way movie cinematics are done. And this is in the flavor of a movie as opposed to a TV show. And so it is going to be a bit darker. Don't let that take you out of it. Don't get hung up on the fact that the Enterprise D looked like it had sunlight coming through the overhead at all times.
Because they were on a soundstage with a giant 4,000 lumen light up in front on top of their heads. That's what it was for.
Right. Well, I mean, we have better stuff now. Yeah. To film with.
We have better camera sensors and lenses.
Right.
So here's the deal.
There's times. Go ahead.
Just to quickly add to that, whenever we make our Popcast Prime videos, like you'll notice sometimes I use stock video, right? Like stock video of a woman like looking up or some guy flipping out the camera, whatever. I always have to take that footage, literally always. And I have to decrease the brightness by like 30%, increase the contrast by like 15%. I have to add color grading to make it look like the rest of the footage in our video so that when you get to that moment, you're not shocked by the complete change of scenery. Right. And that's that cinematic color grading. Most shows today with better cameras and lighting and better stages and graphics are going to use the cinematic color grading, which unfortunately is a little dark. But I would argue that it makes it more realistic and epic. Now, to be fair, though, remember that one House of the Dragon episode where it was so dark it was just black?
Yeah, so they did that on purpose. They wanted to shoot it as if it was night. That was intentionally done. And I think there's episodes of Game of Thrones, even before that, where they were using darkness to cover up mistakes.
Right, because they couldn't afford the budget by the time they got to that episode.
When that happens, you're right. That's wrong, and shows shouldn't do that. And we have had some dark Star Trek stuff in the past. I think that in this case, there's nothing to hide. Everything is well done. I don't think they're using darkness in a way to, some of the great movie people, some of the great people who use light and darkness to draw your attention to a scene can be done. But I just think in this situation, I wouldn't focus so much on the light or the dark. Most of the people doing that are using it as an excuse to not like it, to continue to be angry at it. So it's probably not a big issue, but
this is such a fan thing though. Like, so this entire sequence, so you're not going to get this.
Look at it.
Like this sequence, they show them looking up at it. And then the camera pans around the entire ship.
I know.
They spend time and money.
Even the space shuttle looks awesome.
Right. Even the shuttle. Yeah. So they spend time and money to show you the entire ship. It's like a 2-minute panoramic of the ship. This is such a fan thing, bro. Like, Discovery's doing this? No.
But is it a Roddenberry or is it a Memberberry?
It's a freaking Roddenberry.
It's 100%. A Roddenberry. Absolutely.
100% Roddenberry. And beautiful thing. So the reason they're using the Titan is because Riker says that's the only way I've got that's his old command. And then they go back after that and show you another shot of the ship. We just showed you 80%. Let me show you the last 20% real quick. It's wild. It's wild how much time they spend on the ship. It's crazy. He did say we have to.
It is a Star Trek show, and it's about ships. Terry goes back and tells you. He will tell you he wanted to be on a ship. Star Trek should be on a ship. That's why he made sure it happened.
Right. Yes. You know where Star Trek shouldn't be? 2024 Los Angeles. It shouldn't be in Los Angeles in a year from now. That's not Star Trek.
Right.
So they're picking that ship because that was his old command, and he's being frank. They're gonna have to con the captain of the ship, the new captain, into changing course. They're gonna have to lie to him and get him to change course to take him to where Beverly is. But who is see, what race is that? Someone tell me what race is that. I want to know.
I mean, can it just be human? What's
not
going on
human.
here? Oh,
It
there's
has
a thing on. Oh, I see the forehead.
Eyebrow, like eyebrow, forehead ridges. All right. I should have asked Terry yesterday, damn it. And it's 7-9.
What a great, that's like, yeah, all right. I mean, anytime you see 7 of 9, it's always good.
Yeah, I love Joy Ryan. She's a commander. She's the first officer of the Titan. And I love this. I love this pomp and circumstance here. This ceremony, when 2 legendary, an admiral and a captain, previous captain of the ship, come aboard. This is what you should get right here. Yeah. You should get the lineup, the inspection, permission to come aboard, Commander. And you should get the lineup of people. Like I love it. He actually adjusts his badge.
Yeah, totally unnecessary, but good. He's trying to set the inspection tone, but it's important. Something we skipped over here is that they say they call her 7,
right?
And she interrupts him and says it's Commander Annika Hansen,
right? Commander Hansen, right?
Or Commander Hansen, and so and she explains that the captain wants her to go by that name, and she's obviously not happy about it.
This is a hyperlink, and that's I'll leave it there. This looks like a part of the inspection, but it's actually a hyperlink. So,
which part?
This part right here. When Riker turns and looks at this dude, it's a hyperlink.
I'm not sure why that was necessary. It's not an obvious hyperlink,
but it's a hyperlink.
All right, don't. Yeah.
All right, so 7's like, if I were you, I would lower my expectations.
Oh, about Captain Shaw.
Because they're expecting to meet Captain Shaw and like easily get him to change course or whatever. I don't think that's the case. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Captain on the bridge. It's beautiful. The set is a little dark here. I understand. I don't know. Why is the bridge gotta be so dark, Shane?
Well, okay. So, I mean, I can explain to you in like reasonable reasons. So, because I was in the Navy and I was aboard ships, anytime you're in CIC combat information, it's dark, and it's dark because of everything that they're doing in there. Now, does it have to be on this show? Obviously, original Star Trek, it was lighter. But if you go back to the cinematics with all of the movies, the bridges are darker. They're not light. They're not lit.
True. All right.
So I think it just goes with that cinematic approach. I mean, look at all the background. Look at all the glowing stuff. You don't get glowing stuff if everything's bright.
Right. That's true.
It doesn't look as cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look as cool. That's true.
Right.
Yeah, and you can't see all the screens and all that stuff. I get it. So they're on the bridge, and guess who is at the helm?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Jordan LaForge's daughter.
Yes, Jordan LaForge's daughter, Sydney LaForge. I love this look, though. Like, watch her face. So she's excited that her father's old captain's there. And I love the way I'm playing this. A little dangerous, but I'm going to play it real quick. Who is this critic?
She's just got this great look.
So he asks 7. He's like, "Who is this? What's this ensign's deal?
What's the problem with this helmsman?"
It's just sitting there smiling.
Right.
It's great. I love this character so much.
And it's Sydney LaForge.
Yeah, Sydney LaForge. And they called her Crash LaForge because she kept crashing. Right?
What? Crash LaForge, yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. He had a nickname, Crash LaForge, and that she was like, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, sir. Anyway, so she's an
we do learn that she's having some problems with her dad, though, because when it comes up specifically, she gives kind of this, it just gives you a feeling that something's not quite right.
Yeah, like not that she's estranged or whatever, but
something's bothering her.
Something's bothering her, right? All right, so they're gonna, and we get another. This is how you know it's from a fan. They're like, okay, they're doing the whole sequence of the ship leaving the space dock.
Yeah,
like
which is necessary.
Literally from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Like,
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, yes, a couple of shows, yeah, a couple of movies.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that was in that movie is when we saw that big long sequence.
It is, yep.
And
they spent a lot of time in that movie doing that.
Right. And that's why Galaxy Quest, when they made their show, they borrowed from that sequence.
Sure did. Yeah,
So,
look at that. That's beautiful. Give me another upvote.
Jeez.
Look at the shade. Look at the shadow on the door opening.
Yeah. Is this too dark, guys? Is this too dark?
Well, we're outside the ship now. They're not going to make that light.
Look at that. Look at
that. Is sexy. This is when I looked at it. I'm like, my God, this looks like a model.
Yeah,
it looks like
this is 3D graphics. Blass is a damn genius.
Yeah, his whole team is great. Look at this. Oh, this is such a great shot. Yeah, do this one. How much can we get away with?
I don't know how much we can get away with.
Watch the back end. Watch the ass end of this ship. Look at this. Is this not the greatest butt you've ever seen right here? Come on.
Yeah, this is nice.
Wait, almost. We're almost there.
Oh, yeah. Shake it, girl. Oh, my goodness. Oh, good. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just beautiful, dude. I love the nacelles. I love it.
Look, guys, we're like lifetime Star Trek fans. Like, I was born watching Star Trek. I'm pretty sure that when my mom was angrily trying to dispatch me from her loins, in the background was a Star Trek show playing. All right, I'm telling you, we're lifelong Star Trek fans. It's our favorite thing, and so seeing this after all these years is like, it's gorgeous, bro. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. I think a lot of the reasons people flocked to like show like that, like these fan projects like Axanar, are because they're fans. They knew exactly what fans wanted to see, and they were able to, until CBS did their whole thing because of Alec. They were able to get away with a lot of stuff for a long time because they knew that fans, they don't really want lens flares. They want to see the ship.
Right. Yeah. Don't hide it. Let us see it clearly.
Right.
And you haven't always been able to do that. I mean, it's smoke and mirrors sometimes, but today we have the technology to really show things beautifully.
Yeah. And then they go to work. Yeah. Okay. So they're going to go to dinner with the captain of the Titan, Captain Shaw, played by one of the nicest guys we've ever met, Todd Stashwick. You
wouldn't know it from this acting performance though, because he seems like a D-bag, as Brian would say.
Yeah, he seems like a douchebag. Although, can I get whatever he's eating because it looks delicious?
You can tell you haven't had lunch, dude. Except this does not look delicious. Whatever that is, does not look delicious.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, but what is the sauce?
It's green steak.
I want those Starfleet plates. I want
that's cool. They're cool.
That dinnerware set he's using is so
the Starfleet China.
Rad, yeah. And Hansen,
first look at Captain Shaw.
There's really no need for intros.
The insults begin as soon as they come through the door.
Yeah, he knows who they are. He's aware of them.
The best way to explain this thing here is that
I love this. I apologize, Captain. Are we late? Because he's already eating.
Yeah. Picard's like, I apologize. Are we? And he says it in such a way, he's like genuinely like, oh God, are we late? Because he's so old, he probably doesn't know what time it is. I mean, there's something we have to recognize in this, and that's there's a couple of moments where Jean-Luc Picard is not in touch with what's currently happening. He's retired admiral. And like, he doesn't realize that, hey, he says back on the bridge a minute ago, he said, don't we have to let engineering know that we're going to be at warp 9.9? And 7.9's like, oh, that's all automatic now. And then Riker's like, ribs him, he's like, I can't remember what he said, but it was funny.
You're in the seat, yeah.
And now it kind of happens again here too, because he says en route to Starbase 4, but Starbase 4 had been shut down, I guess, a year before.
Right. Yeah. So he makes it real clear. It's like, yeah, no, hardly. Your reputation preceded you. So he's basically saying that their reputations are so big, their egos are so big that he can start eating before they even got in the room.
Right. That's a great line too.
It's great.
This whole exchange it frustrates you as a Star Trek fan. And I think the first time that we saw it, I was like, oh man, this guy's a jerk,
right.
So
I love this. He said he had to purge the system of all the jazz.
Yeah, right.
He's
And
like,
so
you don't like jazz? He goes, no, it's just like, it's an example of your loosey-goosey Kentucky Mash kind of style. Like, he doesn't like them.
he doesn't, right. And so in my as a fan of the show, I'm not liking him right now.
Right.
But the acting was superb, and you can't downvote it because it was just geniusly done.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to downvote it.
The insultings,
Yeah. So he's a different kind of guy. He likes structure and he likes procedure because, I'm not going to say why, but you'll learn why in later episodes as to why his background is so important as to why he is the way he is.
And by the way, you're going to start loving this character as early as the next episode.
Oh yeah, really quickly. Yeah, right now you're not supposed to like him. When you get to know him, you're going to understand, like, the depth of this character is so intense. He's really is just a fantastic. Yeah. It seems like every character in the show that aren't legacy characters, for some reason, I loved. I ended up liking every one of them. When other shows that use a lot of member berries, I don't care for. Like, I still don't know the names of anyone on the bridge of Discovery.
I know.
Not a single person.
Well, and I would argue that no one else could have played this role but Todd Stashwick. I don't think anybody else that I can think of in Hollywood would have pulled it off the way he does.
Frasier could have played this role
in a signature way. He does.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely his. It was almost like this, like the role was written specifically for him.
Right. And it kind of was. Funny backstory on that for you guys really quick is the way, and you'll find this in the interview, I think, that we have with him that's going to play this weekend, or hopefully, no, next week after next week, is that they were writing this character and they're like, we need a Stashwick type, we need a Todd Stashwick type, character, or Deacon from 12 Monkeys, actually, a Deacon type. And so they kept saying it over and over again so many times that they finally said, why don't we just call Todd Stashwick for the role?
Right.
And that's how the two ended up happening.
That's awesome. And I'm so glad it happened. I'm so glad. Like Todd Stashwick really is just a hell of an actor, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think because his style is so specific, I'm not sure if he gets enough accolades for what he's able to pull off all the time. Like, you almost always, you love to hate him and you love him. He always ends up being the scoundrel, the Han Solo type almost.
Well said.
All right, yeah. So they're basically just, and he wants to go to the writing system. Why? So half warp, double the speed. It's even in split now. Okay. Show the efficiency. He's trying to con him. Show the efficiency of the Titan before the final engineering inspection.
Yeah, he does the whole thing where he's like, "Oh yeah."
I love this.
No.
Real quick, watch this. Listen to this, guys.
And then it's a great story for Frontier Day. It's the current former captain.
Like, oh yeah.
To the paces, run a little cold.
To the paces.
And then
he's like, yeah.
Final engineering inspection at Deep Space 4.
This is, you get this moment now.
DS4 has
been shut down for a year. Yeah.
So well, anyways,
he was starting to so he was sort of playing with him. He's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, all right. And he's like, okay.
But you can tell he never had. Conned. Well, I don't think so. I think the whole time he was just messing with him.
Oh, that's true. That's possible.
I don't think he was at any point.
Putting him to the punches,
yeah. He was like, yeah. No, I think that's the intention of what was about to happen.
And 7-9 tries to back up Picard by saying, I think the Admiral meant DS-11, right?
Right. And then we get the immediate, you can see Shaw has a problem with 7.
He just says, no.
He's like, your loyalty. Like, she tries to fight for him here, like what he wants to do. And he's like, your loyalty lies here with me, not your old friends. Right. And it's like, oh, damn, this guy's got a problem with 7-9.
Watch this.
No.
Yeah. I love it. It's so perfect the way he acted out. He scratches his nose. No. He really played that out really well.
Yeah. And then he explains how his style in the ship, and he's like, respectfully, Captain, I'm an admiral. He goes, yeah, you're a retired admiral, bud. And
he puts him right in his place. Yeah. And then he does the same thing to Riker, because Riker's like, hey, wait a second. Right. And then he's like, oh, I ain't got some for you too, ex-captain of the Titan. I'm the captain of the Titan.
This isn't your ship anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Now, the thing is, this actually makes sense. Like, this con that they were planning, it really couldn't have gone well. It had to have gone this way because in a military structure, I don't think you can just easily con your way through something like that.
Not really. I mean, they might be able to because of who they are, but typically no. You know, he does say, people bigger than us have told me what I need to do. So
yeah, and he says request denied, and he puts 7 in her place, basically. Or Hansen in her place, and then they're like, that didn't go well, and they're sent to their quarters, basically.
Well, he says, hope you enjoy your quarters with the last minute announcement, and you can tell that something not good is probably coming. So.
Right, yeah, enjoy your quarters, man.
And also, we recognize their 7's noticed something. So, like, oh, wait a second, something's not right. She's no dummy,
right?
And she really, the face that she makes here is really great for this moment.
Yeah, something's off. I'm so glad that she got her prosthetics back.
Got to have the prosthetics, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So you're saying a Star Trek show set in modern day Los Angeles with a 709 who's no longer aboard. How did they even sell that? I don't. All right.
Let's not revisit it.
We're back to Raffi. Raffi is looking at pictures of her grandkid. And
of course, that's the storyline that goes back to the first time when she has a son who she's estranged from, who then has a kid, but she's not able to see because he doesn't trust her and he's angry at her over her previous choices.
Right. And then she gets a call from on the computer from her boss. So we noticed that so she is part of an op called Operation Daybreak. And she has a handler, a Starfleet intelligence handler. So she's back in Starfleet intelligence.
And we hear the voice of a female computer.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. And let me hear, I'll let you guys hear the voice.
I am here.
Such a misdirect.
Raffi's requesting a face-to-face with her handler, but the handler keeps denying her that, and she's getting frustrated.
Yeah, and the only information she has is the Red Lady. So the Orion told her that something about the Red Lady, and she's trying to get a face-to-face with her handler, and her handler is denying her.
Yeah.
So she's asking who the Red Lady is. The handler doesn't know. All right.
Right. So the handler's not giving her help, but also the handler's basically saying, just figure it out. You're Starfleet. Figure it out.
Right. Now there's one moment where she's like, can I speak freely? And he goes, yeah, speak freely. Or she goes, whatever. The computer goes, speak freely. And she's complaining. I've been under for months. I'm trying to figure this out. I got no information. The closest I've gotten so far is this Red Lady thing. With the thought that someone's going to use a weapon, blah, blah, blah. And she's complaining. Now, the handler says, you are a warrior, so figure it out. Pretty much. And that's important, right?
You got to stop saying stuff like that.
I'm just expressing what is in the show.
Well, you're saying it's important, so you're pointing out things so we should probably not point out.
The camera zooms in.
I get it, but you're enhancing that with extra intensity that you should not. Okay. So let's just be careful as we go through. We got 10 of these weeks to do it, and we need to be. We listen, and the reason why is not that we want to hide anything from you guys. We just want you to enjoy the reveal like we did.
So the handler says, "Find the Red Lady," and that's it. And she starts searching for the Red Lady.
She's got this look on her face, like, "Thanks for the help."
Right, great.
Appreciate you.
This was really, I didn't waste my time at all.
Right.
All right, we go back to the Titan, and Captain Admiral Picard and Captain Riker are literally in bunk beds.
This is so great. This is just a great moment. It's like they stuck him in a room.
They're in the lower decks. They're in the lower decks chambers or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's hilarious. These legends. Reminds me of my cadet days. Yeah, this is a great shot.
The whole like back and forth between these characters is so fun. Just it's a pure joy to see them together in this way.
And they start stressing out.
Upvote this moment for me.
Yeah, okay. Whatever we're way too late, Will. And then they get a call from 7-9 who has the con because it's late, and Captain Shaw is sleeping, and she calls the Admiral and Picard and Riker to the bridge. And she has already taken the ship to that system. But she wants answers. And I love this. Now listen to this.
Yeah,
moment.
What's cool is we don't know that she's taken the ship to the system when she first talks to them.
Right. This exchange,
and I think that's important.
Yeah, it is. This exchange is very Starfleet, right? Listen to this.
Go ahead.
She's mad.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me what the hell you two are really doing here, or I'm about to throw both of you out an airlock and never look back.
Watch it, Commander.
Yeah. See, this is what we need though from Riker.
Yes, we need. There is a hierarchy there. Not everybody's buddy. You can just say whatever you want. Thank God they had him say, hey, and then she says, I'm talking as a friend. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. But the fact that we don't just let go of rules, regulations, and rank just
because you guys had some beers together. Right.
Right. I love that. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But she's mad, and she's got a good reason because they have deceived her.
Is that how you speak to an admiral? Right. And she's upset. So then they explain that they got a coded distress call from Beverly Crusher, and Beverly Crusher said to trust no one, including Starfleet. So she said, she basically scoffs. Well, my career when I was a Ranger was much easier because now she has to risk her career to help these two people based on their word alone.
Well, but her real problem here is that she's this is really about Seven. She's having trouble following orders. So she's having problems following orders from Shaw because she hates him. And she's basically taking this moment. And this is where we learn that Picard and Janeway are actually the ones who encouraged her to stay in Starfleet after the end of episode 2.
Yes. Yeah. They do name drop
season 2.
Janeway. Yeah. And Janeway and Picard convinced her. That's great.
He says, because she complains, like, how am I supposed to follow orders with things I don't that I don't agree with? And he's like, well, when you figure it out, let me know.
Right.
Meaning I never figured it out.
Yeah. 80-year-old Admiral or whatever, 90-year-old Admiral Picard still doesn't know the answer to that question.
Right.
That was great. That was a great scene. All right. So then they find out she disobeyed orders and she took them to the system anyways, and they're there. And they found a ship approximately 200 kilometers or whatever away.
Yeah. So she had already done it. So she had made her choice. She was mad. She didn't know why they were there, but she trusted them.
Right.
Just like we trust our legendary characters in Star Trek. Ask yourself a question. Do you trust anybody on Star Trek Discovery? Did you trust anybody during the first couple seasons of Picard? No.
I didn't know their names. So
well, you trust we trust these characters. She trusts Picard and Riker that whatever they're doing, it's worth the decision she's about to make. And that's key because that's what Star Trek is about. That's what Gene Roddenberry created. You trust the people that you are connected to.
Right.
And she did it without question.
Right. It was good. Very good. Yeah. And she tells them, there's a shuttle. There's a shuttle sitting in the dock bay. No one's looking right now.
You have 4 minutes. And then Shaw wakes up and he immediately recognizes they're not where they're supposed to be.
I love it. He's like, damn it.
What the hell?
It's great. Oh, so when he comes in here, watch this. Look at, this is so great. This is a great scene. He comes in, he's getting his clothes on.
Someone want to tell me
what
the hell I am looking at?
This is the Riken system, sir.
She says it with such disdain. It's the Riken system, sir.
He's like, lock this shit down. He knows immediately what's going on, bro. It's great.
Yeah, he does. And look at the people on the bridge like, oh shit, mom and dad are about to fight.
Yep, it's great. And a shuttle left, shuttle bay 3 or whatever, And he said, "You just loyaltied your way to the end of a career."
Yeah.
Which is the right response, though. This is the right response.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes. Upvote all this that happened right here. Just upvote me.
I'm upvoting it too, yeah.
Just the whole idea that just love that they just embrace what Star Trek is about in these decisions.
All right, so this moment is when Raffi is trying to find the Red Lady, and she's gone over it 500 times, and then she looks at future events, and she sees Frontier Day, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and she doesn't just figure it out. Like in other seasons, it would have been like, boom, she just got the answer. But what she reasoned out was that maybe it was an event.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was, and so she got it down to something. Like she reasoned through it and showed us that reasoning instead of just giving it away.
Yeah, she showed her math. Yeah, it wasn't just a plot device, right?
And of course, it's the Rachel Garrett statue dedication ceremony.
Right.
And Rachel Garrett, of course, you guys, I'm sure big Star Trek fans would know that she was the captain of the USS Enterprise C, which famously we only know about really from the episode Yesterday's Enterprise, where the ship goes forward in time, but then has to go back. And she's, of course, the captain. It's important that she returns in time. It was a TNG episode, wonderful, where we got to see Tasha Yar again, which would eventually get us to the Romulan Sela, which would carry through so many of TNG's later episodes.
Right. Yar. Sorry, I can't help it. Yeah, so that's what the Red Lady is. It's a red statue of the captain of the Enterprise C. Okay. And she's like, "No."
So she hurries over there to try to warn him because she realizes, oh my gosh, this is about to happen.
Right. And she's like messaging them and they're not picking up. She can't get through to anyone. And then you see this. You see it just implodes.
And I know we saw this in the trailer.
Yeah, but we didn't see this part.
But right. So I've been a little bit, desensitized to it as many times as I've seen it, but it's really an impressive shot. For Star Trek. This is bigger than a TV show, guys.
Yeah, I'm not voting.
Like they're not usually this big. And what's about to happen is unbelievable.
Right.
For Star Trek.
So what appears to have happened is it fell into the void and then gets sucked out like the portal gun from Portal and dropped on the city.
Yeah, what kind of a weapon grabs something and then drops it on you, destroys you, and then drops the debris on your head? It's impressive, and it's we find out that it's a Starfleet weapon that's been stolen. Right.
Now a lot of people are gonna make the connection to like the game Portal, where they used there's a gun you can use. It's called a portal gun, and you create a blue portal. And one yellow portal, or gold portal, and whatever you put through the blue portal ends up outside the red portal. Yeah, it's a really cool game. This is very similar to that, but also massive. It's like if that portal gun was huge and can pick up entire cities and spaceships and whatever buildings and whatnot.
But it works exactly like Brian just said.
Right. Whatever goes in one side comes out the other side. Period. The end.
Yeah, wherever that other side is. Yeah.
Right. Super rad.
And this was a Starfleet recruitment center that they just destroyed.
Right. All right. So now it's back to Picard and Riker, and they're gonna dock. They're gonna make an unauthorized docking with the ship. And so,
they do learn.
Go ahead.
They do learn from the sensor sweeps because they're not exactly sure. They can't read it well because it's inside the nebula.
Yeah.
They do realize they figure out that it is Beverly and she's in critical condition.
Right. Yeah, her pulse ox is low. But I guess they scanned her information against what they had in the computer for her, and that's how they know it's her.
Yeah. They used they used information that was from Starfleet to figure it was her.
Right. So they dock with the ship, and they're talking about good old
This
days.
is an important moment.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is a really important moment, actually, because this harkens back to this moment right here is the whole reason I think the show was made. So when Terry first wanted to make the show, he went to Jonathan Frakes and actually talked to him about it initially. And he explained it as like a Butch Cassidy and Sundance thing with Riker and Picard. And it's in this moment where something is said. There's this line of dialogue. You can see like Picard's hands, are tight. They hurt. They're old. They're about to do something crazy, something that really is beyond their geriatric state, most would think. Mm-hmm. And he says something that I really love here. He says, let me get it. It's right here. He says, your hands are stiff. My knees are killing me. As long as we don't have to move or shoot, we'll be fine.
Right.
But it's obvious that the pair, with all their years of experience, are not only ready, but capable of dealing with anything that comes through. They're capable of dealing with this situation, which in previous seasons of Picard was not the case. Right. Like they would leave him in a room and go do the mission without him.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They'll be like, you sit down and we'll be back.
Right. And we'll be back after we've solved the problem.
Right.
Now he's solving the problems. This is what we want,
yes.
know, and this is great.
He's like, are you ready? As ever. Love it. Great. They go on the ship and, something's amiss. They saw the dust of the assailants and they're putting the pieces together. DeLorean.
They figure out what happened. Yeah. Shows their knowledge of how things, and it's a reminder of how the years of experience they have.
And they find Beverly in a stasis pod.
Picard does. Riker's behind looking at something else.
That's correct. Yeah. Door bleeps and turn around. Oh, there's a gun on Riker. And there is the introduction of Ed Speleer's character.
This is really great. Acting is wonderful here. Picard ends up talking him down by using Beverly as kind of a weapon because he knows that in some way she must be important to him because obviously he's taking care of her. So he uses that to get him to loosen his gun, and then Riker does Riker things.
Yeah, I love this. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play it. Ready? Watch this. As soon as he puts the weapon down, the minute he puts it in, boom! Punch him in the face.
It's like, you don't put a phaser at the back of my head, son.
Give me that.
Yeah,
you see, like I don't care if all of a sudden you are de-escalating. You had a gun on me. I'm gonna punch you in the face and I'm gonna take that gun. No, this is the Riker thing, though. Like I don't know if we would have gotten this in previous seasons.
No, we wouldn't have gotten it if anybody else was making this movie. They would have said, he's de-escalating. We have to now let's go into a corner and talk about it and make sure we're in a safe space.
Yeah, and Riker just it would have been.
That's what it would have been on any other show.
Right.
Not a, you don't put a phaser in the back of my head. What the hell are you doing? I mean, look, this was,
he just put him in his place. He just showed him who was in charge at that moment. It's great.
Right.
Well, chaps, I have to say, you're doing a piss poor job of saving anything.
The Speleers cannot tell you guys how great of an acting job he does in Picard season 3.
Yeah, he's great.
He is a fresh revelation, and additions that Star Trek need. They need acting like this, characters like we're about to see with him moving forward.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And this is when we get the big reveal.
Ooh.
And I know there's no sound in space, guys, but it still looks cool.
Well, they give us some ominous music. It's and this ship has already been introduced. It is called the Shrike. It has been talked about. Terry Matalas has talked about it. It is, as we'll learn, the bad guy ship.
Look at that framing, though. Like they wanted to give you the biggest possible shot of the ship, and it literally fills from the edge of the frame to the edge of the frame. This is such a Star Trek thing.
It's got sharp edges. It looks dangerous, and there you go. It's
look how big it is in comparison to the Helios. Woo!
Upvote, please, for me.
So I'm actually going to downvote. Now I love the ship, but I'm going to downvote it based on only my knowledge of this episode. And I'm going to say it looks a lot like the 2009 Romulan mining vessel. It looks a lot like the other ships we've seen in this JJ version of Star Trek.
Really? I thought I looked at it and thought, well, if you want to make a terrifying ship, that sure the heck is one.
No, it looks cool. And knowing what I know, I like it. But if I had only have seen this, I'd be like, oh man, is it like another Romulan thing or whatever, you know? Because it looks like those ships. In fact, back when we made our video about Ed Spaliers, I actually used the 2009 Romulan vessel ship as a fill-in for this ship, not having footage because I thought it looked that way.
Even though you've seen the trailers, so if you'd watched the episode seeing the trailers, you wouldn't have thought this was a Romulan ship. You already know what the ship is.
I know. I guess you're right because we do get introduced to Vadic
in two trailers.
And I'm taking my downvote back.
Oh, we worked it out. That's good. I just didn't feel like it should be a downvote.
You talked me out of that downvote. Nicely played.
Thank you. It does look like a scorpion, as somebody said. That's what we've been saying the whole time, and it looks dangerous. I love that.
Now the credits. You know,
I get 2 upvotes somewhere in this video, and they're both coming right now.
Yeah. I'm giving the
double
upvote too. Well, I guess I should wait until he's moment. Sorry, wait.
Mm-hmm.
These credits are absolutely phenomenal, dude. I can't go through.
The only thing we can really say, I think, is just pay close attention to them.
Yeah, watch the credits.
And as you're watching it, and as you go through the show, they may start to create a pattern for you.
Yeah. Yeah, the credits are so good. So
what you're definitely going to want to do is after the show's over, you've seen all 10 episodes, go back and just watch the credits for each episode.
Yeah.
And that'll give you a different experience.
Yeah, it tells the whole story. Look at that. Look at I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to upvote this again. Ready?
Well, I already get 2. You didn't give me my 2.
Oh, my bad. Look at this. Ready? We're about to hit it. Sorry, I can only go 10 seconds to and from. Okay. Fleet Museum, 8th and Prime. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first ship there, Shane? What do you see there?
That's the USS Voyager, baby.
USS Voyager. So, this is very clear that the USS Voyager is at the Fleet Museum, as well as the USS Pioneer and the USS...
Ooh, do you see that Enterprise A?
Enterprise A. The Enterprise A is there. What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know the original Constitution class ship?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's a lot of good stuff. Do not seek blame. Weapon.
Well, the A is actually the one that, let's see. So the A is not Kirk's ship from TOS. That was just NCC.
That was just the number itself. The A was after it was just
the A was after that. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot here to unpack. Anyways, that's it. That's the end. Go watch it. Go watch the credits again if you didn't watch them, and just watch them on slow motion. Watch them at quarter speed. Okay.
It won't necessarily spoil anything for you because it doesn't really spoil it until you've already watched the whole show.
Right.
But it'll be a nice. If you just tuck it away as you're watching, and then it'll become clear and you go, oh, okay. And it's just such a nice genius move, I think. So clever. Well done, Terry Matalas.
Yep.
Well done.
Okay.
And crew and team and everybody involved in making it. Good job.
I'm putting up a poll here. And I'd like you guys to answer it.
What is the poll?
Did you like the first episode of Star Trek Picard?
Yeah. That's a good one. And after that one, if you can do another poll, just say who's going to keep watching it.
All right. Let's get that poll in there. Yeah, and so it looks like our average here is 12.
Nice.
So it's a score of 12, which is 2 points higher than the premiere of Orville.
Yeah, 11.5. It probably would have been higher, but I think I was going through it. There's so many moments I could have upvoted, but definitely couldn't be any lower. Could have been higher.
It could have been
Well,
higher.
what's funny is Brian, this episode, I would argue, is the weakest of all 10.
Yes. Okay. So that's important to say.
Yeah.
Out of all 10 episodes, this is the weakest in the sense where it has so much on its shoulders. It has to set up so much things, and it has to like set the tone and sort of there's too much for it to do for it to be like exciting, you know?
Right.
But when you get to episode 2, which is why in the premiere they showed 2 episodes.
Yeah, when we went to go, yes, at the premiere they showed 2 because 1 and 2 are companion. Honestly, I mean, 1 is fine; you can watch it, you know, and still be set up and excited about 2. But when you watch them both, there's a somewhat of a satisfying conclusion at the end of the second one, I would say.
Right, I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. All right, and that's the whole review. It's only 2-hour long review. Jesus.
I just felt like it had to be. You know, if we're gonna spend an hour reviewing crappy Discovery, we can spend 2 hours reviewing good Picard season 3, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below for all the people watching the clip right now. You guys gonna keep watching it? You like the first episode? And we're gonna stop this now and move on with the stream. Jesus, 2.5 hours. Okay. Yeah, listen. So for everyone watching, the first episode is, I don't want to use the word worst, but it's my least favorite. Having to watch the entire thing, but I think it had to be. It has to be the one that sets everything up. So,
well, they all have to be, they're all going to be ranked 1 through 10 on whether the episode was, the best to the worst. To be the worst of the best season of Star Trek in 25 years, I think that's okay.
Right. That's true. That's very true. Let me get off this screen. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Yeah, I wish they would have dropped 2 episodes, but I'm also happy they didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I think week-to-week TV is very important.
I think so too. Keep the conversation going, keep you intrigued and interested. I mean, of course, who doesn't want to binge watch all 10 episodes? But come on. Then it's over. Like you watch the 10 and within a few days, the excitement's over. Now you get 2.5 months of Star Trek Picard season 3 enjoyment. Whereas you would have just gotten a week, maybe.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's address the super chats here and in the members section.
I want to say one thing about Danny the Dork Knight, the comment earlier. I want to clarify because I did say.
Oh, Danny, are you ready?
Danny, I love you, but listen, don't ever say on my stream, on Brian's stream, that you can't wait to see new rock stars breakdown of the Easter eggs while I'm breaking down the Easter eggs. Because what you're saying is it's not going to be, mine isn't as good as what theirs is going to be. And granted, they are new rock stars, so I get it, but I'm just teasing.
I mean, look, our video that comes out tomorrow or Saturday is going to break down the Easter eggs in like a more formal way on the Prime channel. And I guarantee you, Shane didn't miss anything.
Oh, don't do that. I hope I didn't. I'm the worst, guys. I am the worst Easter egg finder.
I'll guarantee you, or your money back. Shane got every single Easter egg.
That's fair.
Or your money back.
Yeah,
full
it didn't cost you nothing. It's not in the member section, so you're good. But I've always traditionally been the worst Easter egg hunter. I don't know why, but I guess because I'm enjoying the show so much that a lot of times I'm not looking for those things, and I want to be immersed in the story,
Right. All right, let's go to the top here and make sure I got all my super chats ready. All right, from Chappie for $5. Thank you, Chappie. Just finished watching episode 1, and holy sh! It was amazing. Had to wait to tune in for spoilers, so starting from the beginning. Thank you. Hashtag Terry Trek forever. Nice. Chappie was like us. He didn't like the other.
Right. He's come full circle now. It's awesome.
All right. Welcome to the party, pal. All right. And Danny the Dark Knight. He's saying, preach, brother Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all want to yell at me because I'm like, I want Star Trek to be successful. I'm sorry. I want it to be successful.
I don't remember what that was about. What were we talking about?
I don't know, about it being like generally loved by everyone.
Oh, that's right. You want the world to get this. I get it. Yeah, I understood what you were saying.
Trek Culture was on. Trek Culture said stealing our format. Listen, bro, Sean, we're not stealing your format, okay? We're just doing the same thing.
Yeah. What are you talking about stealing? Like, just because you did it better first,
right?
Doesn't mean we can't use it.
Sean, you did it better.
You know, it's funny.
It's not stealing.
What's hilarious is
it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think actually it was a great idea, the ups and downs votes. But listen, we promise you to never market the ups and downs votes like you guys do. So they have done a really good job. And if you guys, I'm sure everybody's over at Trek Culture because they have great Star Trek content. If you ever notice, they actually branded their ups and down votes as what they do. And I think it's brilliant. Good job.
Yeah, we just do it for our reviews. We'll never do like
we do them for all of ours, by the way. We do up and down votes, even not for Star Trek, for like everything. So
yeah, for all of our reviews. It won't never be like a produced video though. It's just our opinion.
Yeah.
All right. What else here? Another one for Chappie. Thank you, Chappie. Can't wait to watch all the episode 1's vids this week. Yes, there's gonna be a lot. Yeah, blue steak. Blue rare steak. It was like bluish greenish, right?
Oh, let me read this one. $2 from the Dork Knight. I'm sorry, Shane. Please forgive me. Danny, I forgave you the moment you said it.
The answer, the poll results for cursing in modern TV shows was sure but not Trek 1.
What was it?
Sure but not Trek was a 1 with 44%.
Okay.
I told you.
All right. That kind of breaks it down.
Yeah.
And then no. What was the no? Wait, no.
The no was 22%. So 33% yes, 22% no, and sure but not Trek 44%.
To be fair, I think you asked two questions in this. I think you're answering two questions,
Maybe.
right?
Maybe.
Yeah, and I think that makes stuff. Next time we'll try to do another one where I don't know. I don't even know if it's important to do it. Did we get the super chats from the member section?
I'm gonna get there. Metallus Prime must have been right next to Earth, says Yorkshire. Yes. What I was missing. Oh, there's the Dork Knight one. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the members section. John Burns, super chat. Thank you, John. He said, now we're even 5 years later. Please. Oh, no, I'm sorry. After that, Jason Alexander, The Mud Years. I do sort of want to see a Harry Mudd TV series.
I'm so on the fence with what happened in Discovery
But Rainn Wilson did a good job.
Rainn Wilson. I mean, he was a good Harry Mudd, and it might even be one of those episodes is probably the best of the whole first season.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, of those. So
Whale.
maybe, yeah.
You've probably seen another one from John Burns. You've probably seen Pitch Meeting for Velma. Have you seen Alex Meyer's review? He makes some very good points, including animation quality. I have not seen Alex Meyer's yet. No, sir. Joe Cronin Show. Would you guys be open to giving your favorite and least favorite episodes 1 to 10? You want to do that, Shane?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, it's so hard to like do it like that. Yeah. I would say that the best episodes are probably episodes 6, 9 and 10.
Yeah.
4,
6,
2,
9, 10, 4, 2, 3.
A lot of the even ones. But 9 and 10. Oh, by the way, we heard that 9 and 10 are going to be in IMAX.
Oh, it's going to be in IMAX. Yeah, that's going to be sick. John Burns, I was born ready, Smokey and the Bandit. Sally Field, yep. Another one, Dick Van Dyke, Masked Singer at age 97. Super daddy. In the year 2525, if a man is still alive, if women... it's weird. Are they going to do like? No, we'll talk about that in the member section. Another one's from chat. Hey, Henry Winkler from the Ultimate Fan Service. Yep, that's true. And Beverly didn't give the case to Will. Kept it in season 2. I guess you're right. she kept the Jack Crusher case.
Well, Wesley did leave precipitously and took off with the Traveler, so he didn't look like he left with any luggage. Do you remember?
I mean, yeah, I got
you know what I mean?
The Traveler. Hello, Wesley.
He walked off into the clouds, man, and that was it.
Would you like to get in my van and go on an adventure?
How do you? Come on, Mom. How do you let your kid go with that guy?
This guy, he's so creepy. He's like, let me take your child on an adventure. Oh, that was so weird. Imagine if we were doing upvotes and downvotes back then, like we did that episode. That episode would have been downvoted to hell.
Right. It would have been weird.
Another one from John Burns, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. Dun dun dun. In the future, there will be crime and spoiler alert. A lot of super chats. Less cursing if we speak Chinese. That's awful.
That's Firefly for you right there.
Yeah, that's Firefly. Firefly was able to get away with cursing, just speaking in other languages.
Yep. They'd use Chinese. Yeah,
and it was genius. They made it part of their universe because, like in the future, everyone is speaking like an amalgamation of languages. That's genius.
English and Chinese. Yeah, it was good. In
Star Wars, Samuel Jackson ensures you'll hear Mother FMF. Did Samuel Jackson, when he played the Jedi, he never said his second?
No, he didn't. He didn't
even start to say it.
George Lucas was not going to let that happen. George Lucas made his movies for children.
They did that at the end of Avengers: Infinity War, when he's about to say it, but it gets dusted.
I remember it. Yeah,
so
no, that was a great way to do that. But no, George was not going to allow him to do that.
John Burns, quote unquote, check out the butt on that starship, Shane.
Oh my God. It was, yeah. Was it?
And now Brian is saying with nobody does it better. I'm going to tweet that out right now, John. Check out the butt on that starship. Shane.
Oh my God, Becky. Look at that starship's butt. It is so big.
All right. Thank you,
90
John.
reference for you
Thank you,
guys.
John,
90.
for all the super chats, man.
89. When year did Baby Got Back come out? 89?
Baby Got Back. 80 something, yeah. Wesley went traveling with a real creepy guy they met that morning.
Dude, we have to do a video of the Titan coming out of space dock to the song of Baby Got Back, and we got to create our own lyrics. Right?
Members.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
We're gonna have the Titan twerking. Yeah, there'll be Archmage. There is going to be a member section. We're not just doing this and leaving. All right, I'm gonna leave the poll up for another few minutes. What's next after this, Shane? You want to do a wrap?
Okay, I can try. Roses are red and violets are blue.
Not that kind of a wrap. Jesus.
Oh, sorry, that's all I had. I knew what you meant.
You're bad at
Come on, I was being funny. Do you know how often I get to be funny on our streams?
That's true.
Never.
That's true. Roses are red and violets are blue or something. All right. Yeah, bottom line, guys, is the first episode is the, I guess, least of all the episodes, but still an awesome return. And when I say hyperlinks, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I want you guys to look at it and be like, remember that Terry Matalas is uber talented, and he has a writing team of likewise very talented super fans of Star Trek that went out of their way to be as connective as possible. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's almost hard to appreciate it until you can't really appreciate it until you've seen it all.
Yeah.
And that's just really the case. So this first episode has a lot of that. I think going forward, there's a lot more action adventure. There's a lot more character development. There's a lot that happens. There's a couple episodes that are sort of exposition heavy, and you're going to see that. But it's necessary. It's all necessary. It's important. You need all this information. So when you get to what I'm going to call Star Trek Endgame, those last 2 episodes, because that's what that is, you are aware of all the players and their relationships and everything, and it's wonderful. it's a stunning achievement in my opinion.
Yeah, there's an old saying like an artist. I think it's called. I think it goes like an artist starved for their art, died for their art, sacrificed for their art. You know, they had to give up something for their art. And I truly believe Terry Matalas gave up something, a little piece of his soul to make Star Trek Picard season 3. And I just hope that he realizes, looking back on it, just how great it really is. I hope he gets that. I hope he gets the feedback from fans that it was worth what he had to give up to make it happen. So,
right. Yeah. He definitely had to give up some of his sanity for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. Like, we don't have any other topics today. Like, we knew that this was going to be a long topic, so we didn't even try to get other ones. You want to address, I guess we already talked about the Doomcock thing, right? So
we did. I mean, I don't think there's much more to say about it. I hope that he wakes up and realizes, and I don't think he will. I hope he wakes up and realizes that people can make their own choices, and that you don't have to insult other human beings for the choices that they make because you don't agree. And I also think that if you don't take off your mask and tell somebody by showing who you really are, then I lose a lot of respect for you. So you can't attack people anonymously and think that we're all going to respect you for it. So just stop with the mean tweets about people.
I have no problem judging people when they're doing things that are affecting other people, but you do whatever you want in your life. If your life has no bearing, your decisions are having no bearing on my life, then what do I care? I don't know if that's like I feel like if everyone just thought the same thing, I don't care what you do because if it's not affecting me or mine in any way. So what's the problem? I don't.
Yeah. When we go to the member section, I do want to talk a little bit about Indiana Jones.
Oh yes.
Because there's some information put out that, well, I guess it actually came from Doomcock. And it came from a couple other sources that that they changed Indiana Jones's character for this movie, and we want to address that,
especially since we got the script like a year ago. So unless they made those changes a year ago, I don't think it's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're right. I think, but there's an explanation for what was said, what the director said, and. Listen, when you're dealing with these like older characters, people, who are aging, just think Logan and a bunch of stuff and think about who's making Indiana Jones 5. Mm-hmm. And I think that probably explains everything, but we can talk about it more in the member section.
Okay. Yes. So let's end the poll here. The poll ends with a yes. 93% are going to go watch the next episode. 6% of you are not.
Yeah. And it looks like we're also going to be, we don't really do comics, but if you are into comics, Star Trek The Motion Picture is getting a direct sequel in a comic book.
Oh, that's rad.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, guys, listen, that's it for the mainstream. We are going to the members section. We're going to talk about some Indiana Jones, some more Star Trek stuff, a little bit of stuff coming up, stuff that we can't share publicly yet. We're going to share it in the members section. So if you want to come to the members section, I will put the link. I'll put the link in the chat, but additionally, you just have to click on the link in the description or do nothing and just let it take you there.
Little thing from Derek Thompson asking if we're still following the arc. We have not revisited it since the first episode, but I do plan on watching at least a couple more episodes, and we'll report back to you guys on what we think is going on with that show and whether it's worth watching.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a couple episodes to fly by. And I'm going to watch them all at the same time, so I have a really good feeling for it. And then, I mean, listen, if it's good, it's good. And we're gonna make sure that we'll cover it. If it's bad, though, we probably won't.
Yeah.
Speaking of, by the way, people were asking about our Quantum Leap review for this week. There's no Quantum Leap this week. There is no Quantum Leap episode. I don't know why.
Thank God.
Yeah, because
I need time to recover from the last garbage we just caught.
Dude, I felt that same way when you were like, "Hey, don't forget we have the Quantum Leap review this week." I'm like, do we have to? And I had this like, I used to be excited to watch Quantum Leap, and then after that last episode, I was like, I am so over it.
Well,
so
that's what Hollywood does to you.
It's very smart to like give us a couple weeks off.
Yeah, I think so. We need to catch our breath for a second here.
All right, guys, that's it. We are going to the members section. Come on in. The water's warm. And you know what? If you can't come, we get it. No problem. We will be back tomorrow or Saturday with our big like super breakdown Easter egg Prime video. And then
one more thing too before we go.
On Monday, I was going to mention Monday. Is that what you're about to mention?
Oh, do it. Yeah.
And then on Monday for our Monday night Raw Rant. So we have a show called Raw Rant every Monday night. It's the pop culture war, and we're gonna have on that show is other YouTubers, and this week we're gonna have Robert Meyer Burnett, Gary from Nerdrotic, and Dave Cohen from the Dave Cohen Show.
Yes, it's gonna be epic, guys. You're not gonna want to miss that show. All about Picard season 3 and Hollywood and everything going on.
Yeah. So we're calling it the Raw Rant Pop Culture War. Monday Night Raw. You know what's funny is I realized that we chose Raw Rant because we've owned that name for years, but there was like a Monday Night Raw thing. So people are thinking that it's like,
was it Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, I think it's like a wrestling thing. It's not wrestling.
I was thinking Monday Night Football. Like when I first was like doing it, I'm like, well, Monday Night Football's over, so. Yeah,
Monday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, and it's us with Gary from Nerdrotic, Robert Meyer Burnett, and Dave Cohen. It's going to be good.
It'll be fun.
It'll be on this channel if you're watching this channel. All right, guys. Love you so much. I hope you guys can stick around. If not, that's cool.